Okay, I am live. How are you all doing tonight? Can you guys hear me okay? David, welcome. Welcome. We are pro wrestling. How you doing? Elijah, welcome to the stream. All right. This is going to be fun. How's everybody's Labor Day weekend going so far? It's up to you too, man. Anybody that wasn't on the stream last night where I reviewed All In, I'll give you guys a chance to voice your opinions. What did you guys think of All In? The ones who weren't on the stream last night. David, good weekend. All In was great. Okay. My weekend's going pretty well. Nice and relaxing. I just got out of the weight room, so I got my workout done for the weekend. Yeah, Omega Pentagon was very, very good. Okada Marty was really good too. I think it went a little long, and that caused the problem with the main event kind of having to be a mad dash. But other than that, I thought All In was very good. Great show. Because you'll notice, like, probably the one major misfire on the whole show was at the end. It's like, oh, the Gold Elite wins, bye! And then we just signed off. It was like, wow, that was fast. Okay. Really booted us the hell out of here. But at least we got to finish to the main event. It would have sucked royally if the pay-per-view feed went off and we didn't get a finish. Movie fan, welcome to the stream. Brandy looked great is an understatement. She looked absolutely stunning last night. She barely dressed for the occasion. It was fantastic. I thought so too. The lights going out, because it took so long to come back on, I thought that it was like, oh God, maybe it's a botch. And then obviously it was Jericho in the Pentagon costume, so yeah. Okay, Dragon Rider changed his name to Jedi Alex. Okay. I like it. Like the change up. But yeah, the reactions to All In have been okay, sorry. Brandy or Tessa, who's hotter? Honestly, I'd say Brandy. And normally, like, I like more Tessa's type, but Brandy is just on another level. Yes, Rey Mysterio dressing as Wolverine was awesome. Yeah. That's keeping his tradition alive of dressing like superheroes for big shows. Yeah, I like the shirt too. I've had this since high school when Hogan made his return in 2002. It's become one of my standard like workout shirts. Got to show off those pythons, you know. Alrighty, so Tessa does have a very her back door is working overtime. She's she's got it going on behind the scenes. Patrick Mania. And somehow I don't think that's going to catch on. Are those 24-inch pythons? No way. These are not 24-inch pythons. But I've never measured them. But I'm pretty sure they're not 24 inches. If I were betting, man, maybe 15, 16, maybe. But yeah, before we jump into today's episodes of Saturday Night's Main Event and the Clash of Champions. A couple of things I want to go through first. Top 10 matches for the month of August. That'll be tacked on to my next video that you'll be getting next week. Yeah, no, I am not roiding. Well, it's funny that you say that. At least yours aren't due to roids. How do you know I'm not roiding? I'm not, but you never know. I could be. I could be lying to you. Ricochet was super lucky to have dated Tessa. You say that, but I don't know if Tessa's crazy. Like, if Tessa's crazy and gave him a lot of headaches, maybe it wasn't worth it. But, so the top 10 matches for the month of August, those will be showing up in sometime next week when I do that next video that I have planned. You don't have acne all over your body. That's a sign of roiding. Fair point. Sanjay Dutt. I remember Sanjay Dutt had like the worst breakout all over himself. And I was like, that dude's juicing. He has to be. He fucking has to be. And, you know. Tessa got that attitude from Tully. Well, at least she didn't get his cocaine habit. Arrest this man for maybe roiding? Yeah, sure. Tessa's ass would make it worth it at least a little bit. I mean, you know, one night, maybe. Wish I can watch the shows with you, bro, but I'm at an indie show in Austin, Texas. Inspire Pro Wrestling. Have fun. I will. Thank you, King Henry. Glad you could come in. Jinder Mahal was juicing like crazy last year. Oh my God, there was no doubt in my mind that Jinder Mahal was juicing. It was obvious. What would go wrong? Patrick on steroids. It would make me. I don't know what it would do to me. I don't know. I've never been on steroids. I've never done drugs. So unless you count like caffeine and over-the-counter shit, but nothing crazy. I know Jinder juiced. It was obvious. I mean, look at him. Look at what he looked like before he went back there. Or look at what he looked like the first time he was there, and then look at what he looked like later on. It's like, dude, I work out 5 times a week, and I don't even come close to looking anything like that. Not that I'm working as hard as some of those other guys, but, you know. How did Jinder, Rob Terry, and Luther Reigns ever pass a piss test? They never – I would be willing to bet they never got one. Drugs are bad, okay? They're bad. Cat piss is bad, okay? Don't sniff it, okay? There was one guy, the not Batista guy, Mason Ryan, and I took one look at him and it's like, all right, if he pissed into a cup for a piss test, would it melt the cup? I mean, Jesus Christ. Which other wrestlers do you think might be juicing? Nobody else jumps out at me at the top of my head. I guess Brian Cage. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Brian Cage was. He just looks like, he just looks like a raging hard-on. I mean, I like the guy, don't get me wrong, but he just, like, there's no way that's completely natural. But before we jump into Saturday Night's Main Event and Clash of the Champions, I do want to review all the wrestling shows that I watched this week, and by this week, I mean yesterday and today, because I had a lot of catch-up to do this weekend. So various shows I watched. I watched the 824 edition of Ring of Honor, which was pretty good. We got some solid matches, Christopher Daniels versus Jay Briscoe. We got Silas Young versus Flip Gordon in a solid match, with Flip Gordon getting the surprise win over Silas. And we also got the main event of Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks winning the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team titles against the Kingdom. So that was pretty cool. So overall, Ring of Honor had a pretty good show this week, I thought. And I watched this week's NXT, which was also pretty good. I like the continuation of Johnny Gargano's character development. I also like the focus on the mystery of who attacked Aleister Black. So I think that that's going to be fun to follow for the next few weeks and see ultimately what they do with it. You had Lars Sullivan, who emerged as a suspect because he also attacked EC3 on this show and made his return. So it's like, all right, he attacked EC3. Aleister Black broke his jaw, so he has a motive, which ultimately means that Lars didn't do it. But it's like he's kind of the top suspect right now. And Nikki Cross says that she knows who did it, but she might just be crazy. So all these things going on right now with the mystery, and I think it should be fun. I think it should be really, really fun. Cena is like Thanos now, so I wouldn't put juicing past him. There were various points in his career where I felt like Cena may have been. He was one of those guys that was kind of on the edge. I'm like, all right, he's a maybe. He might be juicing. But yeah, NXT I thought was pretty good this week. We also got the tag match between Undisputed Era and Pete Dunne and Ricochet. So it was like a battle of the champions, the North American champion, the UK champion, and the tag champions all going at each other. So pretty good match with the Undisputed Era getting the last laugh, closing out the show. But the War Raiders came out, so we've got Undisputed Era and War Raiders to look forward to. Probably going to have their first encounter at War Games, if I had to guess. They'll be on opposing sides. Wasn't Triple H juicing after his first quad tear in 2002? There were points in his career where I felt like Triple H was juicing. I don't know if specifically that time period, but there were periods where it looked like, yeah. I'm a Kingdom fan, so the Bucks can go to hell. Fair enough. Then other than that, we move on to Impact Wrestling, which I watched. It was supposed to be their redefined special show, which is like a TV pay-per-view, I guess, like a Clash of Champions or Saturday Night's Main Event. I thought the show was okay, but it felt too much like a regular Impact, so I don't know why they called it something else. It was like if you're going to have so many talking segments, just call it an episode of Impact. Don't call it like something else and try to sell it as like a free pay-per-view or something. Name me any wrestler pre-wellness policy that didn't juice. Fair question. Tessa winning the Knockouts title made me happy. Yes, Tessa won the Knockouts title. I thought that was cool. I thought Cage and Phoenix had a really good match for the X Division title, and I like Cage deciding to come out and help Pentagon and Phoenix against OVE, so we probably have a six-man tag in our future. I'm pretty sure Steamboat was juicing at some points in his career. Yeah, Steamboat, I'm pretty sure, and I know that surprises people, but I'm pretty sure Steamboat was one of them. What do you think the War Games match should be this year? It's going to be Undisputed Era. Like, I don't know what the exact combination is going to be, but I would imagine it's going to be Undisputed Era, maybe one other guy to fill in for Bobby Fish, who's still injured. I think he's not going to be back in time for that. So probably, so it's going to be Undisputed Era versus probably some combination of like Pete Dunne, the War Raiders, and maybe Ricochet. Did you see the Impact and Destiny Wrestling Bad Intention show? I did not. I did not see that. But continuing with my thoughts on this week's Impact, I thought, I thought the X title match was good. I was happy that Tessa won the Knockouts title. I thought that was cool. I thought the ending match was cool where Moose turned heel and help form this alliance with Austin Aries and Killer Cross. So we'll have to see how that all plays out. And I don't know. We're getting close to Bound for Glory, so I don't know what their main event is going to be for that show. But overall, so that stuff was all good. But then there was a bunch of filler material, like the flashback that they always do where they show Drew Galloway's Impact Wrestling debut from a few years ago. There was the they did the segment with the Smoke Show, which I think Scarlett Bordeaux is great, but they need to put her in front of the crowd. They keep like having her in these backstage segments. And I was like, dude, she's like this smoking hot babe that uses sex to sell her personality. Put her in front of the crowd. What are you doing? Put her in these backstage segments. Put her in front of the crowd where they can react to her. But they keep putting her in these backstage segments. I wish they could put her in the arena. I really hope the Moose turn won't be another Monty Brown. I don't think Moose was as hot as Monty Brown was at the time. That was the thing. Like, Monty Brown was like the hottest face that TNA had at the time. And then they turned him heel for no fucking reason. And it was like, well, that's stupid. And it turned out to be stupid. Maybe she'll get too many cheers. Maybe, I don't know. But my idea with her would have been to do basically Eva Marie, except Scarlett Bordeaux. I've been led to believe is at least an adequate worker, unlike Eva Marie, who had no ability at all whatsoever. They better not do a cop-out like they did for the Austin Attack in 99 with Triple H orchestrating it. A cop-out for me would be Ciampa because that would be too obvious. I agree. That would be... when you do something like that, I almost feel like it either has to be someone new that we didn't know was there, or it has to be a face turned heel. It's got to be one of those. Maybe it was Johnny Gargano who did it. Ooh, who knows? But yeah, a bunch of pointless filler material aside, I thought this week's Impact was okay. I still don't know who the kid was that got run over last week in the whole LAX OGs feud that they're doing. It's like, who's the kid that got run over, and why should I care that he got run over? I mean, granted, it's a kid, but they never really explained who he was, at least not as far as I can tell. I still hope it's Cassius Ohno or Matt Riddle who did the attack. Again, those are good options. Someone new or a face turned heel. There you go. Excuse me. What else did I watch this week? Lucha Underground. I watched today. I missed Cage versus Phoenix from Impact. How was it? I thought it was really good. Really good match. I really enjoyed it. It was the best match from this week's Impact for sure. But anyway, this week's Lucha Underground was largely centered around the wedding between Taya and Johnny Mundo, which, again, I love that little small touch that Johnny Mundo's middle name is Edward, and it starts with an E. So when they put, like, the fancy wedding invitation on the screen, it said John E. Mundo. And I'm like, that's so stupid, but I like it. It's such a stupid thing, but it's great. But aside from the wedding, we also had two matches. We had Jake Strong defeating Drago in probably his most competitive match so far. I think Strong continues to look good in Lucha Underground. I kind of like what they're doing with him, where he basically just murders people and looks great doing it. So, and it's also nice to see Aerostar and Drago as friends again and doing stuff on TV. So that was nice. We also got a No Mas match between Exolicious and Jack Evans as a culmination to their feud, which didn't really feel like that big of a deal. The first No Mas match that Lucha Underground did was between Sexy Star and Mariposa, and that match is one of the best matches in Lucha Underground history, easily. Amazing match, but that was also the culmination of a long storyline. This just kind of felt like, oh, hey, let's just do it just to do it, and it didn't have the same heat to it. So when Exolicious yelled "fuck you" into the microphone, it didn't have the same resonance that it did when Sexy Star did it. So it just kind of felt like a pale imitator to an earlier Lucha Underground classic. Still a perfectly solid match for what it was, but it wasn't like a classic or anything. But Jack Evans played it great, and Exolicious. Does anybody else, for those of you who have seen Revenge of the Nerds, does Exolicious remind anyone else of Lamar Latrell, or is that just me? Am I the only one that feels that? What would you say is so far Lucha Underground's best feud? Probably Mil Muertes and Phoenix. I would probably put that up there. Maybe Pentagon and Vampiro. Maybe Mundo and Puma. I mean, there's been a lot of really good ones. FT Legend, welcome to the stream. Okay, there's a character in Revenge of the Nerds who's very much like Exolicious is in Lucha Underground. And that's all I'm going to say. But, yeah, so you had the No Mas match. Now, the stuff surrounding the wedding, I thought it was a very nice touch bringing Joey Mercury out for this. I thought the stuff with Ricky Mundo and the Killer Doll coaxing him into unleashing Matanza, who ultimately destroyed the wedding. I thought all of that was just straight out of a horror movie and was just great. I really enjoyed all of that. And you had Antonio bring out the taco tables as a gift to Taya and Johnny. You had cheerleader Melissa and the beautiful Brenda as the bridesmaids, and you had Joey Mercury and PJ Black as the groomsmen for Mundo, and Ricky Mundo, who was getting abused by them horribly all night long. They did this funny like air guitar bit where they forced Ricky Mundo to hand over his air guitar, and I'm like, this is so silly, but it's great. It's ridiculous. And the whole thing I thought came off really well. It was really funny and really goofy. And then Matanza came out and just completely destroyed the wedding and headbutted Taya, busted her open, gave her the wrath of the gods, and then slammed her through the wedding cake. He slammed Mundo, Black, and Mercury through the taco tables. Famous B, who was awesome as the minister, by the way. I thought he was great. I thought that was a nice touch, getting him to be the minister. He took a suplex while sitting in a wheelchair, which is friggin' hysterical, but also great. So I guess we're going to be getting some kind of a feud between Mundo and Matanza, which could be really cool. A very interesting pairing that we haven't gotten yet. So Looking forward to seeing how that plays out. So overall, I thought Lucha Underground, it was a good episode. I think the wedding was really what made it memorable. The matches, like the Jake Strong Drago match was fine. The No Mas match was fine, but really it was the wedding that made the show memorable. Yeah, get fame. I don't remember the exact number. As someone who has never watched wrestling outside of WWE ever, do you think I would enjoy All In? I say at least give it a chance. I mean, I can't guarantee that you'll enjoy it, but I would at least say it's worth the time to give it a shot. You know, it's not going to hurt you any. I thought it was I mean, it had that entertainment aspect that WWE fans like, so I don't know why they wouldn't like it. Unless they're just brand loyalists that only like things that... And that's the thing about this show. It got the exact reaction that I was kind of expecting, where the WWE fans are shitting on it because they're WWE fans, and anything non-WWE they just shit on. And then you have the anti-WWE people who are shitting on it, or who are shitting on WWE and are praising the holy hell out of the show like it's the greatest thing that ever happened because it's not WWE. I had a friend on Facebook posted this long diatribe about how wonderful the show was and how great it was, and basically told the WWE to go fuck themselves. And it's like, look, I thought the show was great. I really did, but I'm not an anti-WWE guy. I'm a fan of the art form. As an expression of the art form, I thought it was very good. So, to wrap up my weekly wrestling reviews, I also, this morning, I watched 0 Hour for All In, which came up online. So I finally got to watch it. That Joey Ryan stuff was undefendable. I kind of like Joey Ryan, so I'm kind of okay with it, but it's not everybody's cup of tea, and I understand that. The penis druids, that's... I don't know. Maybe I just have a warped sense of humor, but I kind of dug it. It works if you watch Being the Elite, and that's pretty. Or if you like Joey Ryan, you'll enjoy it. If you don't like Joey Ryan, you're gonna hate it. And Joey Ryan's kind of like the most divisive wrestler in the world right now. So I kind of liked him the first time I saw him in TNA when he did like the gut check stuff. I was like, wow, this kid's funny. I like him, and he's not that. I call him a kid. He's not that young. He's like 37. See, I've liked it when WWE's done dumb shit. I've liked some of the WWE stupid shit. Like a lot of the Undertaker stuff makes no sense. Like a lot of the Undertaker's like most memorable moments, like him like resurrecting and coming out of the casket at Royal Rumble 94 and rising to the heavens. I mean, that made no fucking sense at all, but everyone loved it. A lot of Ultimate Warrior stuff, like with Jake Roberts in the pit with the snakes. Like, come on, that stuff was great. It was stupid, but it was great. I like Joey Ryan, but I don't know. How do you explain him to a non-wrestling fan? What's to explain? He's a guy. He's a wrestling porn star that is obsessed with his penis. How did Undertaker come out of a flaming casket at Survivor Series 2005? With great safety precautions taken. That was their way of poking fun at WWE with Taker's Druids. That was how I reacted to it. I thought it was like, oh my God, it's like the Undertaker's Druids, but their penises. Just, oh my God, it was so silly. It was so ridiculous. But I imagine Jim Cornette had a stroke if he ever watched that. Yeah, my problem with WWE is when they do stuff, and not just WWE, but any other company, when they do stuff that it's trying to be funny and it's not funny. And like a lot of the guest host stuff where it's like, it was just bad comedy segment after bad comedy segment. It's like, look, none of this is funny. Like if you want to be Saturday Night Live, okay, be Saturday Night Live. I'm not going to stop you. But if you're going to do that, you actually have to be funny. And they weren't funny. And so it just made me hate them. I was a licensed sex ed teacher for 2 years and I'm getting flashbacks. Jesus Christ. Worst Raw guest host? Oh, God. Don't make me remember those days, please. I remember, who did they bring out? Ken Jeong and Jeremy Piven. I remember that one being awful. That one in particular stood out to me as being really bad. Jerry Springer was another bad one. Yeah, that one was pretty bad. And they brought him back a couple of times. Worst Raw guest host top 10. Jesus Christ. That's a whole video all onto itself. I mean, really, they all sucked except for DiBiase and Ventura. And maybe Shaq. I remember Shaq having a couple of cool moments. But other than that, they were all terrible. Jerry Springer got his own show on the WWE Network. I completely forgot about that. Oh, well. What you going to do? What went wrong? Raw guest host. Core concept. Well, the problem is that they geared every show around the guest host, and basically that meant there were no running storylines. It was just kind of like every show was like, it was like a variety show. Like every show was about the guest host, and it would change every week. So there was no like fluidity or development in the storylines. It was just a series of random events every Monday night. But yeah, going back to 0 Hour, I was like, how did I get on that train? But anyway, 0 Hour, I thought SCU versus the Briscoes, I thought was a pretty good tag match. Really good match. And I thought the Battle Royal was a lot of fun, with Bully Ray getting to shine and Jordan, God, what was her name? The thick China-like girl that was Jordan Grace? Was that her name? She looked really good. I thought Cage looked great. I thought, how did you watch 0 Hour? I watched it online. Jordan Grace. Okay, that was her name. If current day Jericho was in WCW during his WCW run, would he have been pushed on the same level as the NWO? It's good. He probably would have been in the NWO, to be perfectly honest. I think we all want Jordan Grace versus Brian Cage after that Battle Royal. That was a cool little interaction they had, to say the least. Yeah, you had the Best Friends in there. You had like a Cheeseburger in there. You had, what was his name? Marco Stunt, who had a lot of cool moments in there. So, like, dude looked like he weighs 110 pounds soaking wet, but he definitely had his moments to shine. So, overall, 0 Hour was a fun show. And it's like, man, I wish I got to watch it before All In, you know? I want to see the Best Friends have a hug with Bayley. Ooh, if Bayley ever gets released, or if WWE ever signs the Best Friends, I mean, that's something they got to do. Team hugs a lot. The Care Bears. They could call themselves the Care Bears, and then they get sued. Their finishing move, it could be like the Care Bear stare. I don't know how it would work. It would have to involve all three of them, but they could call it the Care Bear stare. I should book wrestling. I'm full of great ideas. But yeah, I thought 0 Hour was really good, and I thought it was like a good lead-in to All In. I just wish I saw it before All In. Oh, they spell it with a Z. That's how you do it. Okay. Alrighty, guys. So I think I've babbled on long enough. We're going to watch Saturday night's main event and Clash of Champions. We're going to start with Saturday night's main event 26. Turn them heel and they can be the intensive care bear. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. We're so full of great ideas here. We're not even high or drunk. Well, I can't speak for you guys, but I would be the greatest booker of all time. Absolutely. In my own mind, I am the greatest booker of all time. Anyway, I'm going to make a quick bowl of cereal. I will be right back because this is basically going to be my dinner. For those of you who were on the stream last night, this is the cereal I was talking about, the Cracklin' Oat brand by Kellogg's. I love this stuff so much. It's so good. I did come up with the zoo. The zoo is a wonderful idea. The Rock versus Roman is rumored to be the main event at WrestleMania 35. That'll be terrific. I'm sure I'll enjoy that. Anyway, like the cereal looks like this. They're like these little oat blocks, little oat squares, and they've got cinnamon and I think coconut in them, and like oats, and they look like something that should be fed to horses. But goddamn, it's so good. But I will be right back, guys, and then we'll get started with Saturday night's main event. I got my wonderful dinner. Okay, the Zoo versus Bob Barker. Oh shit, he'd neuter everybody. Over the deck battle royal at Jericho's Cruise. I would pay big money to see that. Jericho was asked to be in the NWO, but he said he didn't want to be a background character for the group. Wise decision, I say. The Zoo versus the Intensive Care Bears in the main event of All In 2. Oh my God, we're geniuses. Where's our house tour? What, my house? I live in a one-bedroom apartment. It wouldn't be much of a tour. Oat Bran. I should do commercials for Cracklin' Oat Bran. It's the best cereal Kellogg's ever made. All right, so if you're following along on the WWE Network, we're going to start with Saturday night's main event. It'll be the April 1990 edition. So you're going to want to go to Shows, Vault, Saturday night's main event, 1990, and then look for the April show. I'll give you guys a few minutes to catch up. Why should I plug Blue Chew? I don't need Blue Chew. I'm quite virile. I don't need it. I'm all natural down there. Jeremy Irons cereal. Iron Bassus, welcome to the stream. Yeah, back in the 80s, I was so pumped that the LOD was going to feud with Demolition, but the feud was a big disappointment. Yes, and that's going to come up, I believe, the next episode of Saturday. Not this one, but the one next week that we'll be watching. If I ever see you on my TV advertising Oat Bran, I'll mark out harder than anyone else in human history. Hey, Kellogg, give this guy a call. I'm more than happy to plug your damn Oat Bran cereal because this shit is awesome. What went wrong? LOD versus Demolition. A lot of things went wrong, unfortunately. Axe's health, for one thing. Also, and I think Axe said this himself. He's like, the problem with putting the LOD and Demolition together is that they're too similar to each other. So the matches just weren't that good. Demolition worked better working against guys who were completely different from them, and the Road Warriors worked better against guys that can bump for them. So, yeah. Just call 214-PCP-5555. Could you imagine pairing Akeem with Crime Time? I could not. Yeah, Warrior. Well, you know, they put Ultimate Warrior in there because you have the Road Warriors and the Ultimate Warrior. So you got the Warriors versus Demolition. It was a natural fit. Just didn't work. How would you have booked NWO versus DX? Oh, God, that's a whole video you could do there. I mean, God, that would be a tough one to do because they are so close to each other. Like, you know, like Hall and Nash. The WrestleMania 18 match that I would have done would have been Hall and Nash versus Triple H and Shawn Michaels, if possible, to get it. LOD versus Rockers. I think that match happened. Didn't that match happen on like a Superstars or something? I seem to recall that match taking place. What went right? Oat Bran. Lots of things went right with Oat Bran. It's terrific. All righty. Got this pulled up in the network. I'm going to press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, the Mae Young Classic begins this Wednesday.
WrestleMania 6, I met the Ultimate Challenge in Hulk Hogan. That I will
LOD versus American Alpha.
Hogan's footsteps.
The LOD Rockers match is on YouTube. Okay, yeah. I remember seeing that match.
Will prevent me in reaching the outer limits as I fulfill the ultimate destiny.
Jesus Christ.
Destiny?
Let me tell you about destiny. Yes, Ultimate Warrior, you made history at WrestleMania. But this man is going to make history right here in Texas because he's going to become the World Wrestling Federation champion. So you bring it on, pal, as only you can bring it on. Because when it's all over and done with, he is going to be the World
Tony Storm better win it.
champion.
The Mae Young Classic?
You're
Yeah, haven't they taped the whole thing except for the finals? Because that's going to be at the all-women's pay-per-view.
Hogan at WrestleMania, I guess everybody learned what I've already known, that you're not perfect. So tonight, you're going back to school as I prove once again you're still not perfect, but I am.
Actually, Mr. Perfect lost his undefeated streak at WrestleMania to Brutus the fucking Barber Beefcake. So, you know.
Tonight, Professor Hogan.
So both Hogan and Perfect are coming out of Mania with big losses. If WWF went through with HBK versus Bret Hart at Mania 13, what would they have done with Steve Austin? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know what they would have done with him. Road Warriors should not have come to the WWE. I'm sure they feel that way sometimes. Pat, I was rewatching your review of Shin Godzilla. I noticed you didn't talk about that what the fuck moment. What were your thoughts on it? Are you talking about the ending with the skeletal Godzilla men coming out of the tail? Yeah, it was fucking weird. It was really fucking weird. A super weird visual, but it was cool. It was one of the cool, like, super odd, like, cliffhanger-y things. I liked it. Well, you know. What was his streak? Perfect was undefeated up until WrestleMania 6. Oh, God, Warrior. Warrior's on the logo now for Saturday night's main event. That doesn't feel right. It should be Hogan. Hogan or Savage. Those are the only ones I'll accept. What do you think of Triple H versus Rock in a 60-minute Iron Man match? I thought that match was great. We've got Jesse Ventura and Vince McMahon on horses. Yeah, Vince looks like he's having trouble with his horse. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is Jesse's last Saturday night's main event, last show with the WWF, if I'm not mistaken. I rented Shin Gojira on the PlayStation Store just to see his atomic breath and the ending. I mean, those are the two best parts. Should have done Perfect versus Taker at some point. Yeah, right. How would you react if Paul Heyman interacted with Bobby Heenan? I would have marked out like a motherfucker.
Thank you, Vince. With me now, the only wrestler in the World Wrestling Federation who claims to be perfect.
What's my name?
Mr. Perfect.
You said
Sean Mooney, also at All In last night.
He's a legal corner man.
And what's my name?
The genius.
Lanny Poffo, also at All In last night.
Names like Perfect and Genius, you gentlemen must have high opinions of your ability.
And why not? I'm not only the perfect wrestler, I'm a perfect athlete. One who not
Ventura's last show was in August. Okay. So it must have been like right before SummerSlam.
Chess and horseshoes. I can play all those.
Did they ever do Mr. Perfect versus Randy Savage? I don't think so. I don't remember seeing them clash.
Relate to your match with Hulk Hogan.
Elementary, my learned friend. You see, Hogan, since you lost the title at WrestleMania, you've lost your confidence, lost your ambition, and lost your courage. And most importantly, you've lost all your Hulkamaniacs.
Okay, this is going to sound weird, but with the beard and his hair the way it is, Lanny Poffo kind of looks like Jesus Christ. Or at least the contemporary depiction of Jesus Christ. That should have been his gimmick. He could have been crucified by a heel named Pontius Pilate. And he could have, like, resurrected, and that would have been your Mania match. Who would have gone over in a perfect Savage match? Probably Savage, I would think. Who does Elias remind you of? I don't know. Nobody jumps out at me. Lenny Christ. Yep.
But he is not perfect. No one is perfect, Jesse. Not Mr. Perfect. Not even you. I beg your pardon. Yeah, you and that horse, I couldn't believe it. You should have been riding side saddle. You look more like Gail Evans up there. I look just like
Vince, you had more problems with the horse than Jesse did. I saw that video.
And you can match Hulk Hogan will be out for the town, standing by right now. Mean Gene Okerlund along with a Hulkster. All right, Hulk Hogan. You know something, Mean Gene. Mr. Perfect and the genius believe what they say.
There's only one Jesus in wrestling, CrossFit Jesus.
Oh yeah, man, they're perfect fools because.
Ooh, big put down from Hogan.
Confident in my own abilities, dude. Confident that Hulkamania will stand the true test of time. Confident that the training, saying your prayers, and eating your vitamins is definitely the right way to live. As far as my ambition goes, Mr. Perfect.
Only one God, JBL. Yes, JBL is the wrestling god.
Is to defeat pompous punks like you and spread the 3 commandments of Hulkamania. Now about the courage department of the Hulkster brother. Anybody can.
Why are holding calls in the NFL always against the offense? Because that's.
Maybe even down but it takes courage to get.
I mean, there is defensive holding. When the defense holds a receiver and prevents him from being able to make the catch, but on holding, like, that's kind of what the call is supposed to be. You can't hold a defender and prevent him from, making a move on the quarterback in the backfield.
And if there are any doubts whatsoever, then watch this, brother.
Mean Gene versus Bobby Heenan in a Hell in a Cell match. Book it now. Sure. Do you have a favorite episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender? Zuko alone. The one where Zuko's off on his own. That's my favorite episode.
That's right, McMahon. The egomaniac has made his entrance. You know, I've never seen such a guy.
Yeah, there's a fine line between defensive holding and pass interference. They're very similar. I think defensive holding is more preventing the defender from running the route, and pass interference is just straight up interfering with the catch. Now this will be fun. Who's more over, Hogan or Warrior? We'll find out when Warrior comes out later in the show.
He must be hard of hearing, isn't he?
Good line, Jesse.
It takes him 4 times to hear the roar. You just never heard it in your career. I didn't want it.
But what is a penalty anymore in modern NFL? I don't know. Like, the rules keep changing.
Should be a great matchup.
The ending to Super Bowl 49 was #1 on worst play calls. Which one was that? I'm trying to remember.
How do you think Perkins going to counter the awesome strength of power of the Hulkster? I think he's got to use speed, and he's got to use his perfection, and he's got to think. He's got to make Hogan's strength work against.
Yeah, what was the call at the end of Super Bowl 49? Whoa, Perfect goes flying. That wasn't a bad call. That was a bad play call. I don't know. Are we talking like play calls or? Oh, we're talking. I'm sorry. I thought when I heard call, I was thinking like penalty call or referee call. But, yeah. No, that was an awful play call. Oh, hip toss by Perfect. Yeah, that'll go down as the worst play call in the history of the Super Bowl, without question. Look at Lanny Poffo just jumping around. God. Look at that guy. Hip toss by Hogan. Body slam by Hogan. And Perfect. Look how fast Perfect is. Lanny Poffo was all in.
Here's a little advice now from the genius. What do you think he said to him? I don't know, but you bet it was knowledgeable. But they whispered sweet nothings in his ear.
Is Vince making gay jokes at the Genius's expense? God, I hate him because he's gay. God. Meanwhile, look at Hogan's physique. God, look at those rippling muscles. God, he's got such a physique. Yeah, Hogan did a head toss. Irish whip. Oh, perfect. Dodge the big boot. The tuck rule, yeah, here's my thing with that game, the tuck rule, the infamous tuck rule game. I've watched that footage over and over and over again. To me, like, all right, well, it's a bad rule because the tuck doesn't define, like, all right, when does the tuck end? Because based on what I see in the footage, Brady had both hands on the ball. So to me, it's like, all right, he has both hands on the ball. So to me, the tuck is done, and then he gets hit and fumbles the ball. It's a fumble. I don't know. I disagree with that call to this day, but I remember watching that game and thinking, man, if I was a Raiders fan, I would have broken every piece of furniture in my living room right now. Gary Stridham. God. Oh, God, Hogan's beating the shit out of Perfect right now. Which former wrestler would you like to see make one last appearance in the WWE? I mean, just because I like Sting so much, I would have liked to have seen Sting get, like, his moment in the sun in the WWE. That's never going to happen. Oh, big running elbow by Hogan. Never going to happen because it's a shame. I mean, his run in the WWE was terrible. And, like, exactly what we feared it would. Oh, God, and Perfect is bumping like a crazy person. Do you remember your first funny botch that you saw? God. The Genius, who holds a victory over Hulk Hogan, by the way. Oh, and there's Perfect with the metal scroll. Hogan's down. Yeah, what went wrong Sting in the WWE? He jobbed at Triple H at WrestleMania, and then which set him up horribly for his title match with Seth, and then he got hurt in the match with Seth, so it was just garbage all around. Sting chose to wait until he was beyond Twilight, so Sting wanted to put people over. Him putting Seth over made sense. Him putting Triple H over made no sense at all to me. But I was like, if he's going to go over anybody, it should be Triple H. Because Triple H has gone as far as he's ever going to go. God. Mr. Perfect was kicking Hogan's ass all through the commercial break. Do you like Lord of the Rings? I do. It's I love the movies. I love the book. Love it. I actually just read The Silmarillion a couple months ago. Oh, there's that perfect neck snap. I love that. That's such a cool move. Sting thought the Triple H match was his last match, so he chose to put him over. Was that Sting's call? Because if so, damn. Yeah, the NWO coming out to help Sting made no sense. What are some dream matches for the Rockers? There you go. Hogan's back up. I don't know. I mean, in their era, they worked with just about any. I guess like the Rock and Roll Express and like the Midnight Express, stuff like that. Oh, that looked a little low there, Hulk. That kick looked a little low. Clothesline by Perfect.
Mr. Perfect, and a big clothesline right there. Advantage Perfect. And nonetheless, this match is taking its toll on.
This isn't about WCW. Clearly about WCW. Yeah. This isn't about the Monday Night Wars. The match was all about the Monday Night Wars. They did work with Demolition. They did. We'll see that in 91. Saturday night's main event. Granted, it was Smash and Crush, but perfect plex. 1. Hogan kicked out. I'm shocked. Hogan kicked out. Is Scarface a good movie? Scarface is a great movie. I think it's fantastic. Rock and Roll Express versus Rockers versus Hardys versus Young Bucks in a ladder match. Most defining moment in wrestling history. Hogan slamming Andre at WrestleMania 3. That's like the greatest highlight in the history of wrestling, at least in my eyes. Boot. Boot, boot, boot. Drops the big leg. There it is. 1, 2. Hogan wins it. To the surprise of no one. Patrick just admitted Gobbledygooker and Oz are the greatest wrestling characters of all time. Oh, they sure are. What went right? Mr. Perfect. Pure talent and great presentation. Perfect Plex should have been protected like the DDT or the Tombstone. It mostly was. The only ones that ever kicked out of it were Hogan, Warrior, and they kicked out of everything. I mean, Hogan no-sold the Tombstone once. I'm not joking. That happened. Go back and watch their Survivor Series match. And Bret Hart at SummerSlam. As far as I know, they were the only ones. Poop Nugget news is greater than the Gooker and Oz. Oh, God. God, is it weird that the Gobbledygooker is my favorite one out of those 3? Like, Jesus Christ. No one to this day has ever kicked out of the One-Winged Angel. Oh, we got a... Wait, we have a barbecue and no Jim Ross? Which is worse, the Von Erich tragedy or Benoit? The Benoit tragedy had a greater spotlight on it. The Von Erich tragedy was like a prolonged series of miserable events that were very unfortunate, but the Benoit tragedy was way more shocking.
This was not a wrestling match. This was a brawl. A fight because Hogan made it that way. Smart move on Hogan's part. All I can say is they sure enjoy the match down here in Texas. Yes, sir.
Settle up to the fragrance that reigns supreme.
That's Rick Martel? Is he wearing a wig?
Men's cologne that loosens up even the most resistant female. Arrogance. It's a breed apart. Yes.
The Arrogance cologne.
It only makes
No, that's his hair. That's his real hair. I didn't recognize Rick Martel at first.
Saturday night's main event, and Jesse the Body Ventura saddled up again. As a matter of fact, he's back now on the dressing
People need to
room.
use the Razor Hall philosophy when it comes to finisher. Don't use it unless you're going over. Ooh, interesting.
Just prior to WrestleMania.
When did you start to get sick of the evil boss? Probably around like 2002 was when I was like really starting to get sick of it. Granted, I thought Eric Bischoff was great, but it was still kind of like,
The earthquake.
eh.
Heavily Jim, now it's your turn. You'll start shaking in fear as you feel the tremors.
Did they ever sell that cologne? No, the WWE Shop Zone wasn't open at the time.
Your country heck friends can watch the earth swallow you up as I deliver in time on the Richter scale.
But don't worry, hillbilly.
I love the way Earthquake bounces during the promos. It's great.
Home deliverance film. Only this time it won't be any dueling banjos, but you will squeal like a pig.
There's that locker room set. Yeah, they used that locker room set a lot in like 90 and 91.
Well, we're ready now for this matchup.
Created the illusions like, wow, all these venues, their locker rooms look eerily similar.
I'm not too sure. They've ever had
Oh, I liked Rick Martel. Rick Martel was fine. What's a creative way to write someone off TV other than getting attacked? Have him get married and go on a honeymoon. That'll get him off TV for a few weeks.
Jimmy Hart very pleased What did I miss, McMahon? You haven't missed anything. Standing by right now is Mean Gene Okerlund.
Dario is the last great evil boss. Dario's outstanding. Oh, there's Hall of Famer Hillbilly Jim.
Well, now, gee, I sure did. Well, let me tell you something. I know quite a bit about pigs and such, because, you know, me and Granny Ray are some of the most absolute beauty.
WWE Hall of Famer Hillbilly
Well, I
Jim.
remember skipping down to the old pig pen with big old buckets of slop.
But I'll tell you, the evil boss thing, where I really started to get sick of it, was when like Vicky Guerrero and John Laurinaitis were coming out, and I'm like, okay, guys, this needs to stop. I'm like, seriously, please stop this. And that was when I had gotten just beyond the pale. And it got to a point where it felt like they were doing it just to do it. And it's like, guys, the reason it worked with Vince because of the whole conflict with Austin, but you don't have to have an evil boss. Raiders of the Lost Ark was on the other day. Do you like that movie? I love that movie. I think it's a classic. Dario has nothing on Corbin. Okay. Oz versus the Gobbledygooker, 3 Stages of Hell is the dream match you guys don't know you want. Again, would it kill them to have Don't Go Messing with the Country Boy? Why can't we have that? Now we've got Earthquake versus Hillbilly Jim. I don't expect this to go very long. I wonder how WWE only fans would react if they got rid of evil bosses. They'd lose their mind, because we have a whole generation of fans that have never known wrestling without having some kind of evil boss screwing people over. It is Kevin Nash versus Hector Guerrero. That is true. That is true.
Ramming the shoulder gets ahead of steam.
They're on to us. Get them back to SeaWorld. Oh, look at Hillbilly. Putting up more of a fight than I expected.
And he staggered the big quake, but still, the earthquake does not leave his feet.
Thoughts on the WLC match between Torito and the Leprechaun? I thought that was a fun match. I remember enjoying that. Now we got to go to ludicrous speed. Prepare shit for ludicrous speed. And there's Earthquake with the splash. Down goes the Hillbilly. Oh, there's that Earthquake elbow drop. Yep. Did you ever get sick of hulking up? Not really. Maybe around like 92, 93 when I was getting sick of Hogan in general. And the Earthquake splash. Yep. 1, 2, 3. What's more fragile, Trips' ego or Diesel's knees? Probably Diesel's knees. How did you first react to Vader's no in Revenge of the Sith? It didn't register with me when I saw it in the movie the first time. It wasn't until I saw it on home video I'm like, wow, that's kind of silly. Did Big Show have a better career than Andre? No, because he was never booked consistently well for long enough. Oh, God, he's going to kill Hillbilly Jim. Another one. Humorous? Do you find it humorous? God, now he's just elbow dropping the hell out of Hillbilly. Yeah, Earthquake at this point was like putting people in the hospital left and right. He did it to Hercules at WrestleMania. And yeah, I liked Earthquake. I liked Earthquake as a kid. I thought he was a great villain. Big Show lost his first match in the WWF. End of story. Yeah. Why is being a little guy so funny? I don't know. He did kill Jake. He killed Damien and made snake burgers.
The secret of my success.
Oh, more arrogance commercials.
I pump up with this. Arrogance. It's today's man in a classic can. The fragrance that overwhelms, and pins down.
When you win the world title in your first match, you have nowhere to go but down. Wow. Those are some very attractive ladies that Rick Martel has with him.
All right, the hoedown continues here on Saturday night's.
Would you say Okada is Mr. Wrestle Kingdom? Either him or Tanahashi.
Back in the dressing room. Take it, Jess. Hart Foundation, I've got to tip my hat to you guys. You challenged the winner of the tag team title match at WrestleMania long before it even happened. And now the champions Demolition are on notice. You're hungry.
I mean, I imagine eating snake isn't that bad. I've had gator, and I enjoyed that.
Especially since tonight you're only facing a bunch of summer.
Rick Martel versus Joey Ryan.
A pair of tumbling teeny boppers are no match for the Hart Foundation. And rockers, after your heart attack, you can join Demolition in the coronary unit.
Oh, the Hart sounded like heels there. I never had Rabbit. Yeah, we're getting the Hart Foundation versus the Rockers.
And yes, we have two favorite tag teams here, but you can bet they're going to let the birds fly down here in the little.
And no, before anyone asks, this is not the infamous match where the turnbuckle broke. That match never aired on TV. What would you say is your favorite scene from each original Star Wars movie? God, there's so many. I can't name just one. There's too many. Even if it's like one from each movie, it's too many. I find Okada to be bland. Tanahashi felt like the bigger deal to me. I'm all about Okada. I'm a huge mark for the guy. I like Tanahashi too, but
Maybe a heart like that.
if the Young Bucks are the modern day Hart Foundation or the modern day Rockers, who would be the modern day Hart Foundation? I don't know if there is anybody. I can't think of a team that has that same dynamic of the thick power guy and the scientific wrestler. I can't think of one. These aren't the droids you're looking for. Vince, why are you making like riding horses a dick measuring contest, especially when you were so bad at it? Okada is Randy Orton done right. I'd say that's fair. Well, Okada is Randy Orton who gives a shit. Because Orton can be great when he's motivated, but I can tell when he doesn't give a shit. And he just kind of sleepwalks through his matches. Hart Foundation versus the Rockers. This should be a good one. I actually remember this match. I had it on VHS. If I'm not mistaken, Demolition comes out during this match. Hip toss. Oh, kick up by Marty. Bret and Marty going at it. And here we go. Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. High cross body. Bret rolls over. 1-2. No. Look at their cute little baby faces. They're so young. Look how young Bret and Shawn look. Oh, just a few short years, they would hate each other's guts. Bret goes down. Double Russian leg sweep. Double kippa. Oh! And there comes Anvil with a double clothesline. Nice. Nice. I love it. That would be a great gimmick. Sleepwalking while wrestling. The Mr. Narcoleptic. What are your thoughts on the Disney streaming service? I've never used it. So, I mean, Disney produces so much goddamn content. I mean, they could fill their own streaming service. Oh, there's Marty sliding under Jim. Jim charges, misses. Drop toe hold. Front face lock by Marty. I don't think he's going to keep the powerful Anvil down to the mat. Just a guess.
Don't try to match strength with this guy because he's out of the locker league in strength. And Shawn Michaels tagged back in.
We had the Yeti. Is that close enough? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get my pronunciation correct. The Yeti. The goddamn Yeti. Leapfrog by Shawn, and he's going for a slam. That's not going to... No. Jim Neidhart. No. Drop kick by Shawn. Got him. And down he goes to the mat. In goes Brett. What was up with China going away in an ambulance at Royal Rumble 2001? Was that legit? No, I assume that was a work. That was part of the story. Atomic drop. Clothesline by Brett. Not often that you see the Hart Foundation work as like the big guys, but... Oh, ooh, Brett. Hart's kind of working heel here. If you ever do an episode of the Dungeon of Doom, I will watch the holy shit out of that. The Dungeon of Doom, one of my favorite terrible things to ever happen in wrestling. Huge back body drop. Shawn went flying. Did they ever do Randy Savage versus Roddy Piper? I think they crossed paths in Royal Rumble 1990, but other than that, I don't know. Has Vince had more hits or misses? Well, I mean, you can't argue with success, so if that counts for anything. Yeah, that's true. They did have a match at Slamboree 98, but I'm sure it was terrible because Piper was way past his prime at that point, and Savage wasn't too far behind him. All right.
And the big powerhouse, the Anvil, hammering down to the back of the neck. And again on Shawn Michaels better make a tag here sooner. This one's over. And the Anvil sort of setting him up now. Drives a shoulder to the midsection. And again the tag. You know, I've never seen the Hearts look better.
Look at the Hearts in this double team. Ooh. The match was surprisingly not that bad, even with Savage on one knee. Okay. All right. What went wrong? Bret Hart and the NWO. He never officially joined. Well, not counting the NWO 2000, but it was like, okay, is Bret in the NWO or not? Because it's like they don't want to say. Yep, here's Demolition. They're going to observe.
Are they trying to disrupt? Are they trying to cause an advantage for one team over the other team? What's going on here, McMahon? Action Smash getting a bird's eye view of what's going down here at the angle.
What went wrong, Reverend Devon? It was just a bad idea. It just felt like a regression for Devon. Drop kick by Shawn, and Brett goes flying out of the ring. What's Demolition doing? Brett's like, don't touch me, motherfucker.
We're back with our Saturday night's main event. Bret Hart holding the board of Shawn Michaels as Demolition.
What would you watch, 99 WCW or Super Cena era on Raw? 99 WCW. Because at least that's only 1 year.
Well, why is that? I do not for this at all. Let the two tag teams battle it out.
Okay, so Slamboree 98, the match was Brett and Savage with Piper as the referee. And Savage Piper had a match at Great American Bash 98 that went a few minutes, and that match was bad. Okay. Super Cena era was the best era in history. Sure. I'll let you think that. We all have our opinions. Here comes Brett. Elbow on Shawn. No, and Shawn rolled out of the way. Shawn gets the tag. Is Shawn going to get it? Shawn got the tag. Here comes Marty, and Brett's in trouble. What did you think of Jeff Hardy winning the WWE title at Armageddon 2008? Power slam by Marty. I was okay with it. I didn't really think anything of it, to be honest. I was like, oh, Hardy won the title. Okay. Super kick by Marty. 1, 2, no. Did you ever watch Rocko's Modern Life? I did. Loved the cartoon as a kid. It was a great show. I would hate the travel if I were a wrestler. Yeah, the traveling would drive me nuts. 1, 2, no. Oh, swinging neck breaker. Come on, Brett, get the tag. The hot tag is overdone to death, but I can't imagine tag matches without it. I've seen tag matches without a hot tag that were fine. Here we go, slingshot. Oh, Anvil missed. Went head first into the mat. Now Marty's got to get the tag to Shawn. He got it. What went wrong? VCAM and TNA. The whole thing was stupid. That's what went wrong. That was a huge shoulder block. Shawn went flying. Yep. Jesus, this match is fantastic. Oh! Jeff should have beat Orton after the attack on Matt, but they sandbagged him and let RKO retain. Oh. 1, 2. And Shawn goes flying out of the ring, and now Demolition's putting their hands on Shawn. Uh-oh, now Demolition. Now we've got all three teams fighting with each other. Axe and Smash, the Hearts, and the Rockers. Man, could you imagine if this had led to like the first TLC match or something, all three of these teams? Is this the same Marty from Back to the Future? No, it's one Marty Jannetty.
And we're about to get the official decision here, which we anxiously await. All 6 wrestlers momentarily hammering away, going in. The referee has disqualified both teams, ruling this bout a double disqualification.
Boo!
But Demolition, if they did want to disrupt, certainly accomplish what they were trying to do. Right now, let's take you over to Shawn.
Marty McFly versus Marty Jannetty versus Marty Scurll. Battle of the Martys.
You got that right, Daddy. Just about a week ago, we celebrated Earth Day, and nobody cares more about the environment than the earthquake.
And I prove it every time I get in the ring by disposing of.
What did the New York Jets need to do to get great? I can't really assess them until I see how they play next week.
A tremor that cost you the World Wrestling Federation title. But now, Hogan, if you get in my way again, you'll feel the devastating impact of a quake that will send Hulkamania into a crumbling heap of debris.
And just think, Hogan, if it happens here in Texas, you could be buried with your boots on.
Not that he wasn't before, but I suspect that Hulk Hogan might want to be a little more environmentally conscious in the future.
Oh, this is the setup for Hogan and Earthquake. And that whole feud and situation that would take place. Is there football tomorrow night or next week? It starts next week.
Hulk Hogan, not to take anything away from your stunning victory here tonight, but I suspect you're going to be keeping an eye on your local.
Jannetty sounds like the kind of guy that would bang his daughter with permission from the internet. I ain't touching that one.
Definitely a natural disaster. But right now, brother, Hulkamania is like a Texas tornado. And anything.
Like a Texas tornado, not the Texas tornado.
There's an earthquake in your future.
Oh, look, there's a payphone there in the background. Remember payphones? Remember those? Does anybody remember payphones? I saw one in Atlantic City last week, and I was like, holy shit, it's like a relic. I feel like I'm in a museum.
Any of my little holsters down. Somehow we would crawl out of that deep black hole.
Who would you rather see Benoit face in his prime, Ishii, Shibata, or Zack Sabre Jr.? I think he could do some great stuff with Zack Sabre Jr.
Somehow, once again, we would prove that the strongest force in the universe is not a hurricane, it's not a typhoon, and it's definitely not an earthquake. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, that the strongest force in the universe is Hulkamania.
All right, we're going to have more hook 'em horns here as we return with the Ultimate Warrior against Haku and the Big Boss Man squaring up against Aki.
God, Vince is weird. Vince is so weird.
In just a moment, the title defense for the Ultimate Warrior.
The very first WWF title match for the Ultimate Warrior.
Champion versus champion. Title for title. Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior meeting in a contest of galactic proportions. And in a match to determine who was the strongest force in the universe, the Hulkster and the Warrior battled as titans in the Ultimate Challenge. The largest crowd in Skydome history stood in awe at the prowess of the combatants. And then after an eternity of warfare had happened, the Ultimate Warrior became the new World Wrestling Federation champion, while Hulk Hogan took his first step into immortality.
Since payphones have become obsolete, where does Superman change now? Great question. Broom closets, maybe.
Congratulations, Bobby Heenan, on the opportunistic occasion.
How do you feel about a pre-match "This is awesome" chant? I guess that's fine because it's still like it means they're excited for what they're about to see.
Texas was only good for tobacco chewing women, horse manure, armadillos, dirty politics, saddle swords, cow dung, illegal aliens, and the ever popular horsefly.
Jesus.
But now
Bobby was bound and determined to offend everybody with this promo.
than J.R. Ewing, because tonight one of my family members, Haku, will win the title.
What went wrong? Ultimate Warrior in WCW. A lot of things went wrong there.
You did it before with another family member, and
A lot of things went wrong with the Warrior in WCW. What went wrong, Eugene?
I'll be making history.
You know, and Texans
They kind of just dropped the ball with him. It's almost like they lost interest in Eugene.
All those ham and eggers who got kicked at the Alamo, the Davy Crockett's, the Sam Houstons, the John Houstons, the Jim Bowies, the Bowie Kuhns, the Rosemary Coonies. They'll all be forgotten when my man Haku wins the World Wrestling Federation.
Are the "This is awesome" chants really that bad? I mean, I'm not a fan of them. Maybe that's just me being a picky son of a bitch. But to me, it's like they get wrapped up in how exciting the action is, and they lose sense of like who the face is and who the heel is. And that's one of the reasons, like the "Fight Forever" chant, I don't like that at all, because it's like, no, I want a winner. I'm here to see a winner.
To the Ultimate Challenge, and then some. But now you face a challenge of a different kind. It's your first title defense on television, and you'll be coming face to face with one force that some time ago defeated you, a Heenan family member. And tonight,
"This is awesome" is the easiest chant to get. Just do cool moves and kickouts. It feels that way sometimes.
I look not to the light of the past, but dwell instead into the darkness of the future. For even the Ultimate Warrior cannot control the course of past events that happened in the waste of time. I can only control my present and my future destinies.
The fuck did you just say?
Grains of sand flow through your normal hourglass.
The fuck did you just say?
I can feel it. I can feel that.
What are some of your favorite endings in football games? The ones where the Giants came back and won at the end. Those always made me happy. Is there anything worse than sitting in a quiet section of a crowd? I wouldn't know. That's never happened to me.
Power
pulsing in my veins. Chosen to carry the sacred banner of the World Wrestling Federation. You, Bobby Heenan, and Haku face a much different than you have in the past. Yes, even different than yesterday. A warrior whose force swells every minute.
How much longer is he going to ramble? The fuck are you talking about? Oh, God, I remember I read the first one of his comic books, and I was like, I have no idea what I just read.
Filling the hearts of my warriors with the light of hope. With these forces...
I may have asked this question before, but why do showmen fail in wrestling now? Do they fail? I feel like showmen get over. Like Joey Ryan, look at him. Like, he's over as fuck right now. What do you think of Family Guy chicken fights? They started funny, and then it got overdone and became boring. But the earlier ones are funny.
That's right, the Warriors title defense on Saturday night's main event. You can see Bobby
Velveteen Dream, another great example. Here we go. Warriors' first title defense on TV. I don't expect this match to go very long.
Look at that. However, the Warrior coming right back. Kicks to the midsection. The Warrior hasn't even had an opportunity to take out the championship belt.
Does the match with the hottest crowd always mean it's the best match? Not necessarily, but it certainly helps. We'd be lucky to get 5 minutes out of this. I'm saying, like, okay, over under 5 minutes. He clotheslined Haku so hard that Haku couldn't even go out of the ring. He just kind of like... Now you're supposed to work the clotheslines, buddy. Here comes Haku. Misses the clothesline. Warrior with a shoulder block. If you were a wrestler with a movie-inspired gimmick, what would it be? It's a good question. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't even know where to start. I guess I would go for, like, something like, I mean, my inclination would be to go for science fiction, so I'd come out with, like, Blade Runner, as like, Blade Runner or some shit. Like Roy Batty from Blade Runner. Oh, and out goes Haku. According to Al Snow, it's the match that sells the tickets that's the best match. I get what Al Snow is saying when he says that type of stuff. I don't, like, fully disagree with it. I think it's the match that sells the most tickets is the biggest attraction. It's not necessarily the best match. Sting and Hogan at Starrcade 97 is a prime example of that. That's the match that sold the tickets, got the buy rates, but the match was garbage. So they didn't follow through on what they had promised, or at least not in the way that they should have. Oh, Haku gets a knee up. Clothesline, and Warrior. There he goes. Now he goes down. Warrior looks like he's working a comeback right now, or working like, yeah, oh. Like he's working a comeback for a babyface. Like he's bumping and feeding. Wasn't Batista in that movie? He was in the sequel. He was in Blade Runner 2049, I think it was called. He was great in it. I thought he kind of stole the show. Have you seen Cena's new finisher? Yes, I saw it. I feel like he's trolling by doing something like that. What are some of your favorite match finishes? I thought Bret Hart was like the king of the great creative finishes. Like the finish at SummerSlam 92, this finish at WrestleMania 8. I love the finish at SummerSlam 91 where he takes that leg drop to the midsection and turns it into the sharpshooter. The finish against Diesel in 95, Survivor Series. Bret always had really good finishes. What's his new finisher? It's like this, I think he called it the lightning punch, and it's like this shitty looking back fist to the side of the face. It looks terrible. Back suplex by Haku.
With that count, McMahon. He did not. He certainly did.
Yeah, the finish to Shawn and Shelton. Yeah, that was a great one. The super kick off the springboard. That was an awesome finish. I was half expecting Cena to do his own one-winged angel. I wouldn't put it past him. Big splash by Haku. He stole Warrior's finish. A Warrior's doing his own version of the Hulk up. Did they darken the crowd? Or was it always that way and I just didn't notice it until now? The crowd looks darker than it did earlier in the show. What do you think of the Men in Black movies? Love the first one, hate the second one, third one's okay. The first one's a classic. I think it's the Ghostbusters of the 90s. Here we go. Big splash. 1, 2, 3. Warrior wins it. Yeah, that was quick and dirty. Not a great match, but you know. Warrior wasn't known for great matches, so I guess it's okay. There was some big building or structure for the Men in Black movies right here in Queens, New York that we used to drive past from time to time. That's pretty cool. So I guess it's cool to have like a cinematic set piece that's part of your town like identity. That must be pretty cool. Around my era, we have the Exorcist steps. The steps that one more Arrogance commercial. He's playing tennis now. Jim Cornette said Kenny Omega was like the Warrior, overrated and terrible fundamentals. That is ridiculous. I mean, Kenny, you can nitpick him for a few things here and there, but he's like light years ahead of Warrior, where Warrior, even at his best, like Kenny Omega is like 10 times better than the Warrior. Thoughts on Braun turning heel? I'm going to make a video about it later this week. WrestleMania 6. Bossman versus Akeem.
For what? Look out! Where was he? Hiding under the ring?
Why isn't the match DiBiase versus Bossman? Why are we doing Bossman and Akeem again?
He has nothing to do with this match. And the bell has
Yeah, the Twin Towers explode. Oh, wait. I shouldn't have said that out loud, but Jesus.
Why did he get clobbered from the backside by Ted DiBiase?
Now, Slick, we've just seen the footage of the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, taking care of business.
Just business as usual, my man. And his business is my business. And I'm happy to say that the $1 Million Man has upped his ante. He's given us an offer we can't refuse. We're going to finish the job that we started.
I love Slick so much. He's great.
Boss man, you are fool.
Did Kid you sing along to Slick's theme like you do now? Yes. Yes. It's a old habits die hard.
Just like some of those law enforcement officers who won't take the money. Now, boss man, you're going to be the one who pays. You can bank on it, brother. Money talks. Boss man.
And bullshit walks. How can bullshit walk? That's more slang, right? Yeah. Points to who knows what movie I'm quoting there.
From the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, as there was at WrestleMania, as a doctor of style.
Well, I met this lady and I told her quite a story. Says I love her forevermore. But the trouble is I tell the same old story to every girl that walks through the door. This is the slickster talking at you, honey. Yeah!
The illegitimate father of all four.
Well, at first they love me, and then they do. Sometimes they do, and sometimes they won't. Okay, that dance by Akeem is gift-worthy. And so is that dance by Slick. Get me gifs of those immediately. Or GIFs, or whatever they're called.
Let me tell you something, Ted DiBiase.
I've never seen The Exorcist, but because you speak highly of it, I'm a bit interested. I love it. I think it's one of the best horror movies ever made.
And stay at posh hotels. I don't give a damn because justice is blind, but not when it comes to payouts, DiBiase. It's obvious.
I can't find the episode where Slick, McMahon, Monsoon, and Heenan went to church. I remember seeing that back in the day.
For my former tag team partner, Akeem. But there are some things in this world that you can't buy. You can't buy morality. You can't buy honesty. And you can't buy integrity. But most of all, boy, you can't buy me. And Akeem, everything's bigger in Texas. Including the beating I'm about to give you.
You ever take a trip down to Cobb County, Georgia? You better read the sign. Respect the law and order. You'll serve hard time. You'll be serving hard time. You know the big boss man will make you walk the line. You better watch it, boys. You'll be serving hard time. Now, the WrestleMania 6 match between these two lasted about a minute. It was very quick. So I'm not expecting much out of this one either. Why isn't the match Bossman versus DiBiase? Like, I feel like we already saw this match at Mania 6. Why are they doing it again?
Split up like this simply because that man standing wouldn't take a bribe.
How would WWE defenders defend the Shockmaster if it happened today? I don't think they would defend it. How can you defend it? No one's that silly.
Stops on the team doing everything dirty that he learned in Cobb County Jail. And you know, speaking of dirty, this match could get so dirty.
How would they defend Katie Vick? I've heard people defend Katie Vick, saying it's like, oh, it's just a heel getting heat. I'm like, yeah, but it was also like painful to watch. I wish Bossman was still alive so he could be Joey's new partner as an undercover cop in LA. Oh my God, that'd be great. Did Akeem just do a stink face? Oh my God. For all these years, we thought Rikishi invented the stink face, but we have video proof it was Akeem. Katie Vick was at StarCast? What the fuck? Like, what, did they bring out a fucking mannequin? How was StarCast? I didn't watch any of it. Like, how were all the panels? I know they did like a Monday Night Wars panel and a friggin' a roast of Bruce Pritchard. 1, 2, Bossman kicked out. How would they defend the racist shit Tripp said to Booker T? Heel getting heat. See, that I was actually okay with because it was like, yeah, I mean, the heel's being a dickbag. The Katie Vick thing, the problem with it is that it just wasn't, it was just in poor taste. And I like the racist stuff kind of like skirted that line, but I felt like that was within the realm of the heel being an asshole. Joey Ryan took a pic with Katie Vick. That's hysterical. All right, what the hell was that? I don't even know what Bossman was trying to do there. 4, 5. Akeem is like headbutting himself into the corner. What the fuck? Boss Man Slam.
He's not going for a cover. Cover that man.
Up there's DiBiase. How brutal was Umaga's running butt smash in the corner? I don't know. I never had to take it. How could they let Triple H win? Didn't that validate the things Triple H said? Well, I mean, the thing they did in that match that ticked me off was he hit the pedigree, and it took 30 seconds to roll on top of Booker T. And it's like, all right, when I accuse WWE of burying WCW guys, that's the type of shit I'm talking about. Because you can't convince me that that wasn't done to make Booker look like shit. It was done deliberately. Oh, look at DiBiase. Handcuffing Boss Man to the rope, and now he's beating the shit out of him. Jericho said that Umaga always hit you light as a feather but made it look nasty. Well, that's a sign of a good worker. Oh, nightstick. Wait, Boss Man's got a key. Imagine that. Oh, there's Boss Man going after DiBiase. And DiBiase is running like a scolded dog. Okay, that match was garbage, but the Ted stuff was fun. Oh, another Arrogance commercial.
My baby's carburetor. Come on. Arrogance. Yes, the man's cologne that primes pistons. Yes, that makes spark plugs grow hotter, and that improves your engine's performance.
Okay, Ricardo Montalban.
And now, put the brakes on the mundane and accelerate into the fast lane with arrogance.
All right, the Ultimate Warrior successful in his first title defense here on television, and much to the chagrin of Bobby the Brain.
Drinking game. Take a shot every time there's a commercial. Oh, in this show, there'd be 4. Did you ever watch the Spy Kids movies? No. Not my cup of tea.
In your quest to win the World Wrestling Federation Championship.
Don't concern yourself with my business. But I picked up something out there tonight. I noticed some flaws. Rick Rude and I picked up some flaws.
What does Ravishing Rick Rude have to do with all this?
If you keep your mouth shut, you might learn something. I noticed some weaknesses out there on the Ultimate Warrior. See, right now, Ravishing Rick Rude is going through the most extensive training an athlete has ever pushed himself to. And Ravishing Rick Rude is the only man ever to defeat you for a title, Ultimate Warrior. And just like he did it before, he can do it again. And he's going to lift that World Wrestling Federation Championship and bring it back to the bottom.
Yeah, I know Stallone was the bad guy in one of them.
Right here, because you're about to hear a difference of opinion. Let's go to Mean Gene.
All right, so this is setting up Rick Rude and the Ultimate Warrior at SummerSlam later this year.
Of the World Wrestling Federation Championship. Speculate if you will, Ultimate Warrior.
Small fact, Val Venus' theme is a remix of Rick Martel's theme. Kind of shows.
You cannot turn this up or turn it on. The power of the Ultimate Warrior is total.
Do we really need a second Warrior promo on this show?
From our previous battles, and I, Rick Rude, will swallow all those strings that you promised to bring me like no one never has. No one can control.
Wasn't that the match where Roddy Piper was shitting on the Warrior? Yes, it was. Listen to Piper's commentary at SummerSlam 1990. He was totally shitting on him. It was hilarious. And I'm sure Vince was sitting there at the booth being like, shut the fuck up, you dirty Scotsman. Fuck off. What are you doing?
That's right, but I'll tell you what. If one heated family member doesn't get him, another one will. Like namely Ravishing Rick Rude. He's beat him before, he'll do it again. Well, you have to admit, Hulkamania is running wild.
Val Venus and Joey Ryan, the meat sticks. Oh, Jesus.
On the horizon, a natural disaster. tournament continues from Austin, Texas in just a moment.
Oh, they're back on the horses. Someone help Vince. He's going to have some troubles. Okay, so that concludes Saturday Night's Main Event 26. Overall, why am I... What the fuck was that visual? Like, that was weird. I'm not even going to bother describing it. Okay, fuck it. I'll describe it. It was Jesse Ventura, like, feeding a carrot to a horse, but holding the carrot in his mouth. And I'm like, wait, is he going to French kiss a horse? What the fuck? But anyway, yeah, the show was solid. I like the Rockers Hart Foundation match. I like the Hogan Perfect match. Ultimate Warrior did not come off looking like a good champion on this show because his rambling, incoherent promo and his shitty, less than stellar match really highlighted all the faults of the Ultimate Warrior, and probably not the best showcase for him, especially on his first title defense. But, you know, it is what it is. But there were some other solid things on the show as well. So that concludes Saturday Night's Main Event. So, yeah, we're going to go right into the Clash of Champions right after I take a quick break. I will be right back, so stay tuned for more. Hello, everyone. I am back. How are we all doing? What went wrong? RVD in 2003 and 2004. I'm trying to remember what he was doing those years. I don't even remember. They stuck him in like some pointless tag teams, like with Kane and Booker T. But yeah, I guess it, like what went wrong? They didn't know what to do with him. I walked into the living room and my dad was watching Die Another Day. What do you think of that one? I think it's arguably the worst Bond movie. It is friggin' terrible. Like, laughably bad. Alrighty. All right. Best and worst 007 movies to you? My favorite ones, I mean, the Connery era were the best ones overall. I think Dr. No's one of the best. I think From Russia with Love is one of the best. I think Goldfinger might be my favorite. Thunderball is great. Like even his lesser ones, like Connery's lesser ones, quote unquote, You Only Live Twice and Diamonds Are Forever, I think those are really good. And then other than that, like for Roger Moore, my favorite ones that he did were Live and Let Die and The Spy Who Loved Me, which I think is one of the top 5 best. I really like that one. I think it's a bit underrated, actually. Dalton's films were good, not great, both of them. It's a shame he never really got that great Bond film under his belt, but Living Daylights and License to Kill are fine and perfectly entertaining, but they aren't like among the best. But they aren't the worst, anywhere near the worst either. So, and then Brosnan, the only one of his films I liked was Goldeneye, and that might be the best one. I keep going back and forth. Like, all right, which is my favorite, Goldfinger or Goldeneye? Goldeneye is fucking great. The rest of them, I can just be like, the rest of the ones that Brosnan did, I'm just like, those are terrible. They're really bad. And then Daniel Craig's era, Casino Royale is fantastic. I think is one of the best. And then Quantum of Solace is completely forgettable. I've watched the movie 3 times and I don't remember a single thing that happened in that film. So it leaves no impression on me. Skyfall was very good. And then Spectre was okay. Not great, not terrible, just kind of there. I mean, we all love the video game. Anyone who grew up with the GoldenEye video game, we all know what a party game that was. Who was more witty, Heenan or Lawler? I'd give it to Heenan. Heenan always made me laugh more. Sean Connery is the only Bond actor I know by name. I know the Bond series pretty well, so I can name. Have you played Golden Gun? Do you mean in the GoldenEye game? Have I played with the Golden Gun? Yes. Is there a game that I'm not aware of called Golden Gun? Skyfall was a Batman movie. The director said as much. You know what? It kind of shows a little bit. But anyway, all right, we're going to watch Clash of the Champions 25. So if you're following along on the network, you're going to want to go to shows, then Vault, Clash of the Champions, and then it'll be in 1993, the last one of 1993. And actually on this episode, the Saturday Night's Main Event that we just watched was coming out of a WrestleMania. It was the fallout of a WrestleMania. This is heading into a Starrcade. So this is the last major, it's the last Clash of Champions before Starrcade 93, which had the main event of Vader versus Ric Flair for the world title. But they had their first world title match on this Clash of Champions to kind of set up what would happen at Starrcade. I've only seen Dr. No, Thunderball, Live and Let Die, and Goldeneye. I mean, those are some... I mean, if you're only going to watch 4, those are 4 pretty good ones. When I think about it, Cena and Triple H never buried anyone. What, like on purpose? I mean, I don't know how deliberate it was, but they buried plenty of people. Rusev. I mean, Jesus. Ryback's run got ruined. Granted, it's Ryback, but still. Tessa Blanchard likes to tweet. Was it Tessa? What, Tessa Forever or what? What is that? There's a weird noise outside my door. I don't know what it is. Fuck it. I'm not going to worry about it. Is it okay if we call you Grandpa? You can call me whatever you want. Tessa is forever. Okay. Tessa is forever. Is it a mouse? It better not be a mouse. I mean, I've put copper wiring in the Alex Riley also got buried by Cena, absolutely. But I put copper wiring in all the potential entry points. I've sprayed peppermint oil everywhere, which mice are supposed to hate. I put glue traps down. I put snap traps down. I put bait traps down. It's like, okay, any mouse that comes into this apartment should be dead, but I've even taken the steps to make sure they don't get in here. So, I don't know. I better not see another mouse until I eventually move out of this apartment. But, yeah, we're going to watch Clash of the Champions with Vader and Flair in the main event. So we are going to get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. WWE story time, guys. Have you put out cheese to attract him to the traps? No, I use peanut butter. Peanut butter is a much better trap, much better bait than cheese. Because here's the thing with cheese, it goes bad if you leave it out. So even if you don't get the mouse, you have like this funky smelling cheese.
British aristocrat Lord Steven Regal risked his world television title against the flying fist of flamboyant Johnny B. Bad.
Oh my goodness.
Sting and Davey Boy Smith go out to the Nasty Boys.
The first Allied Powers. Sting and British Bulldog. The original incarnation of the Allied Powers. Hashtag the mouse did nothing wrong. The mouse did everything wrong by being a disease-filled little pest that doesn't belong in my home. He's an invader. Peanut butter, yeah, peanut butter attracts them. They're attracted to peanut butter. They love peanut butter, and because peanut butter has a very distinct smell, and mice have a very strong sense of smell. So peanut butter really attracts them. What are some of your favorite Regal matches and moments? A lot of his moments were him as the commissioner. I thought he was really funny in that role. Favorite matches? So his work with Benoit was really good. He had some really good matches with Benoit. Mean Gene Okerlund on the Clash of Champions. Oh, there he is, plugging that hotline.
It's very simple. Pick up the telephone, make that all-important telephone call at 1-900-909.
Manager of the Year, Sir William, Missy Hyatt, Harley Race, or Teddy Long. If that poll doesn't go for either Harley Race or Teddy Long, I will lose my shit.
Missy Hyatt, manager for the Nasty Boys. Of course, the legendary Harley Race or Teddy Long. All of these individuals have...
No, Regal's great as the NXT GM because he doesn't do anything but make decisions. That's literally all he does.
Fans vote tonight like they say up in Chicago. Vote often.
All hail King Booker. On my other favorite William Regal moment, versus Umenga. He could not say Umaga's name to save his life. Excuse me. Umenga. Be right back. I'm calling the WCW hotline. So we've got Jesse Ventura on commentary. We've got Mean Gene Okerlund as the host.
If I parachuted in, I'd either land in the ring or I'd land on Mean Gene or Michael Buffer, one of the three.
I'll tell you what, Mean Gene, it's great to have you with us for your very first Clash of the Champions. We have a tremendous lineup, as everybody knows.
Someone else shows up at the next Clash of Champions, if memory serves me right. The WCW hotline better be a phone sex line by now. It probably is.
That's what we got. And let's not forget Road Warrior Hawk against Ravishing Rick Rude.
As a matter of fact, that is our very first matchup as we go to the ring. And Michael Buffer.
Ooh, we get a title match first. Yes! He's simply ravishing. We get the definitive WCW Rick Rude theme.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bayfront Arena in St. Petersburg, Florida. This is the WCW Clash of Champions.
Yeah, his stuff with Eugene was great too. One of the things that really sold the Eugene character, like William Regal, like coming to really like him, I thought was pretty touching. You manga.
From Robbinsdale, Minnesota. He's been unbeatable since winning the world title at the Fall Brawl this past September. He's a former world tag team champion, a former U.S. heavyweight champion. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the master of the Rude Awakening, the world heavyweight champion, Cut the music.
He just cut off Michael Buffer because Rude rules.
What I'd like to have
I watched Halloween Havoc 93 a few weeks ago. For 93, that Vader Foley match must have been shocking beyond belief. It shocked me as a kid. I didn't know wrestling could get that violent.
Keep your mouth shut.
My next episode. What's your next episode?
Respect to the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
Well, it's not undisputed because you had the international champion and the WCW champion. It wasn't confusing at all, I swear. But he's got the big gold belt. Why are they showing a kid do the William or doing the Rick Rude thing? Rick Rude 91 to 94. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one to do. And he's defending the title against Road Warrior Hawk. Now, Hawk and Animal, they just did not work as singles guys. They just did. They were just tag team guys through and through.
This international superstar from Chicago is the challenger. He is Road Warrior.
Yeah, Cactus helped Triple H tremendously. Absolutely. I mean, that feud kind of put Triple H over the top.
On the table and set for the Clash of the Champions first matchup. There's the big gold belt. And Randy Anderson, the referee, holds it up high. And Jesse Ventura, what an ovation from the fans. Many of them wearing
God, this is so weird. You've got Gene Okerlund, you've got Jesse Ventura, you've got Rick Rude as one of the world champions. Looks like a late 80s WWF show.
And now this one is for the world heavyweight title. It's recognized by the International Board of Directors.
Well, Road Warrior Hawk's getting his shot here, Tony. It's a once in a
Didn't LOD have a third guy in the late 90s? Yes, it was Draws. He was like the new member of the LOD, but he turned out to be Hawk's drug dealer. And he pushed Hawk off the Titantron. That was the thing they did.
Now, something Rude always likes to do is try to intimidate his opponent.
I don't think that's going to work, though, with the Road Warrior.
I would agree, and I think that picture showed that.
I mean, when you grow up on Halstead Street in Chicago, you're not going to get psyched out.
We talked so much, and you heard Michael Butler talk about the master of the Rude Awakening. It is true, and everybody knows that if he puts it on you, regardless of your size or who you are, you're going to go down.
Draws yes, Draws was in LOD. So who's stronger, Rick Rude or Road Warrior Hawk?
There's no question about that.
Hey, I love his tights. Have you seen them? You've taken a close look, Cody? I'm right on the front thigh.
What, you are?
I am right on the front thigh if you look at Ravishing Rude's tights.
Rachel Ellering tweeted out a picture of her with Hawk calling him Uncle Hawk. Aww.
Warrior Hawk picks up the champion and fires him back in the corner.
Yeah, this is another one of those matches where it's like, oh, both of them are gone now.
I don't think he did, but if he did,
It's sad.
he's gonna, Tony.
I think Hawk died in like 04, and Rude died in 1999. So he died like really young.
That one broke my heart. I don't even want to broadcast that one.
Okay.
A break of a, don't you agree so quick?
Oh, do whatever you want, you know. Rude, a little tentative, and he's usually not too tentative to go up high.
It's not often that you see Ravishing Rick Rude afraid to knuckle lock against somebody. But right now, he's having second thoughts.
What killed Rude again?
There's one hand there locked up.
Didn't he have cancer? Was that what happened? I don't remember. I don't remember how Rude died, to be perfectly honest.
Apparently he didn't like the grip, Tony.
Did you like Animal showing up at 0 Hour? That was neat. That was just a neat little thing. Oh, look, there's Road Warrior Animal on a bike. That's great. And that was, All In had a lot of great things like that, where it's like, all right, we're going to respect the past, we're going to respect tradition, we're going to pay homage and honor the past, but not at the expense of the present. They didn't have DDP go out there and Diamond Cutter Magnus and help, have him help Cody win. They didn't have Road Warrior Animal go down to the ring and beat the shit out of two young guys or something. They didn't do anything like that. It was just they honored the past, but acknowledged the present and made sure you knew who the real stars were, the current stars.
Everything possible to try to get the advantage, but as history has proved out, you cannot take this guy off his feet easily, and there you go.
Oh, there's Hawk with that no-selling.
I'm not so sure the Rude Awakening is going to be that effective on Road Warrior Hawk, at least early on. Look at this power of the Road Warrior. Rude's in trouble.
Back body drop.
He hits hard, and now Hawk.
He works hard. He hits hard. He plays hard.
Hawk allowing Rude to get up. Take a look at this.
Now, Road Warrior Hawk being very methodical. It's a psych-out game on the champion.
They should have honored Vince. Yeah, but then Vince would sue him. Oh my God, they mentioned my name. Fuck. Working hard or hardly working? Little column A, little column B.
No. That's on the backside. He wears those on the front. Who he beats.
Up and
Suplex by Hawk.
Same can be said for Road Warrior Hawk. He and his partner Animal, the Road Warriors, won every major tag team championship in the United States. Very successful in Japan as well, around the world. Rude. It's hard in the turnbuckle. You're right in with the action.
Yeah, Rude is not having a fun time in there. Here we go. Body. Oh, backbreaker. Here goes Rude.
Well, Hawk seems to be dazed.
Oh, feet to the face.
I called it. It was too early to go up for that, and the champion's paying the price for it.
Up and over. Down goes. Now, is that a disqualification or not? Do you guys even know anymore? Did LOD ever face the Hart Foundation? I don't think so. I don't think they did. Oh, you know what? I take that back. They did. And what the fuck just happened?
We got a bell ring, Tony.
The bell rings. We're going to have a double count out.
Oh, that's bullshit.
That's not going to sit well with the fans. Referee going by the rules. They got a 10 count on the floor. Ladies and gentlemen,
well, that match sucked.
So a very angry Hawk.
Yeah, that was not good.
Goes onto the floor and grabs she ripped Rude. Rude running around here looking for his belt. And he has.
Rude retains, but that match sucked.
Go back to slow-mo. There you see a big right hand. Followed up with the big clothesline.
What was that about LOD and Hearts? Yeah, they had a match for like a house show or a Coliseum videotaping or something like that. Pretty sure it was on the. I think it was on the Bret Hart DVD, if I'm not mistaken.
The referee called for the bell, and it's going to be a double count out. And it sure don't sit well with the fans, Tony.
Fans for action live on TBS from St. Petersburg when we come back for Clash of the Champions.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest on the Clash of the Champions. It is set for one fall. Introducing first from Dodge City, Kansas, weighing 307 pounds, the Equalizer.
Oh, there's Evad. Dave Sullivan, the Equalizer.
Live on TBS at Clash of the Champions from the Bayfront Center.
Did Brett leave the night of Survivor Series? Yes, that was his last match. Survivor Series 97, yes. What's your favorite EVAD match? The ones that ended under a minute. My favorite match was the date he went on with Kimberly Page, where he gave her the bunny. That was my favorite thing he ever did.
And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, at over 400 pounds.
Oh my God,
the
Shockmaster versus the Equalizer. This is okay. This is what we're doing at the Clash. All right. Do you like Keanu Reeves? I like some movies he was in. I like the John Wick movies are great. I love those. The Matrix is obviously a classic. Speed is a classic. Bill and Ted were a part of my childhood, so I have a weird appreciation for that. So, yeah, I like Keanu Reeves. I don't think he's like the greatest actor in the world or anything, but this is going to be a Tokyo Dome 1,350 star match. Abso-fucking-lutely. The Matrix turns 20 next year. Don't remind me, Jesus. I remember when that was like the big movie that came out when I was in 8th grade. And I didn't see it for years. I did not see the first Matrix until it came out on no, I didn't see the first Matrix until right before Matrix Reloaded came out to theaters. Like literally, I saw the Matrix on video, and then Matrix Reloaded came out like 2 weeks later, and I saw that. So, but yeah, the Matrix is a classic. It's fucking great.
And the Equalizer feels this is his most important match here on Clash of the Champions.
Well, you know what's remarkable about this? The Equalizer.
Was it Matrix 2 or 3 that sucked? Well, depending on who you ask. Some people say that they both sucked. Matrix 2, I thought was okay and set the stage for a very interesting conclusion to the trilogy. 3 was the one that sucked, I thought, where they didn't satisfy anybody with that ending.
There's a move made famous by Maurice Mad Dog Vachon, and he's gone.
Mad Dog Vachon, there's a name out of the past.
I would dare say guys like the Equalizer, like the Shockmaster.
Did you hear the story Kenny Omega told about meeting Keanu Reeves in an airport? I did not. What was that story? I've never seen The Matrix. I'm a Blues Brothers guy. I love Blues Brothers too. That's a great movie. I love the Blues Brothers movie. That car, well, I was going to call it a car chase. It's more like a friggin' demolition derby at the end of the movie is fucking great. Yeah, this match is fucking terrible. This is really bad. Shockmaster with a big boot. I hear some boos for the Shockmaster, even though he's a babyface.
The big Shockmaster, if he can stay on his feet, which he always seems to have no problem. I mean, oh, he tried to clothesline him and got nothing.
The big guy would not move. The Shockmaster missed his clothesline.
Well, there's the big squeeze. Oh, he's got him covered. And he wins.
Thank God it was short. That's all I'll say. Thank God it was short. What a maneuver. Yeah, that was a maneuver, all right. I don't even know what to call that. It was like a bear hug into a spine buster, and I made it sound way cooler than it actually was.
Absolutely. What a big win. You know what else? As we get ready to go to the replay, here's the replay. Wham! He runs into the foot, flat on his back right there, and the Shockmaster fires the Equalizer in, catches him off the ropes, gets him in the big squeeze, drops him down and crunches him.
Now I'm going to see if I can find this thing. There's a video of...
Tonight at the conclusion of the Clash.
And when we come back, T-Knows will be with us again in the World TV title on the line on TBS.
There's a video of the Shockmaster from, like, as a reaction to his debut, where they kind of had to pivot and they kind of turned him into a goofball babyface character. Here it is. Here it is. I found it.
Champions live here on TBS. The hotline is on fire. Folks,
You guys can check that out.
voting for the manager of the year. And I'm sorry.
Perfect example of WCW having to pivot after their idea blew up in their face.
Don't bother me. You got your born yesterday judges out there. Ignorance with no boundaries. Tonight, nothing's going to rain on Parker's parade. So I dropped that.
Colonel Parker, underrated manager. I liked him.
Picked up the hottest thing in town. I'm talking about Stunning Steve Austin.
Speaking of
Stunning Steve Austin. That's...
You have a restraining order because Shirley's not here.
Oh, if I got a restraining order, I've been assured by my lawyer, Willie B. Cheatham. Don't worry.
Willie B. Cheatham is his lawyer. That's...
Don't worry about the whole building. As a matter of fact,
I love wrestling.
Hold on just a second, Colonel. I happen to be in the men's room.
Omega and Fale were at an airport restaurant in Japan, and Keanu Reeves came in and sat at the same table as them. He got a picture with Reeves doing the Too Sweet. That's pretty cool.
I have no security. I have no security out here. Good day.
You're not a... Well, apparently, Colonel Parker is out of here. Right now, let's get back to the ringside.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest on the Clash of the Champions. It is for the World Television Championship. Set for
Johnny B. Bad.
With a 15 minutes time limit. Introducing first the challenger from
Chili McFreeze.
Georgia.
Why isn't he wearing a mask? Shockmaster? Because everyone saw the mask come off, so what was the point? The entire Back to the Future series now takes place in the past. Well, yeah, that was, I remember when 2015 came out, that was a sign. It's like, goddamn, I'm old now. The future of Back to the Future is now like obsolete. No, you don't want to make him mad. Don't shoot Mongo. You'll just make him mad. One of my favorite lines from Blazing Saddles, a cinematic comedy masterpiece, if there ever was one.
For the television title. As Bad is perched on the middle turnbuckle. And they are standing in St.
All right, so we are off to a not-so-good start with this clash. A terrible world title match, a Shockmaster equalizer match. Do the math there.
You got a couple pieces of glitter on your bald head there, Jeff.
And now we've got Johnny B. Bad and who's this? Johnny B. Bad and Lord Steven Regal. Maybe this will be okay. Didn't one of the Godzilla movies you reviewed take place in the future? Godzilla Final Wars, I believe, took place in the future. And Godzilla versus King Ghidorah had people from like the 22nd century or something like that, 23rd century.
Here, Tony, you got a guy that I truly admire, Lord Steven Regal.
And why is that?
His basic on-the-nut wrestling ability. I've never seen anybody any finer in all the years I've been involved in this great sport. I mean, Lord Steven can make a top wrist lock look complicated.
We have to take a break. We will have this match in its entirety when we come back on the Clash of the Champions from St. Pete. We are back at St. Peter's.
Oh, yeah, Destroy All Monsters. The movie took place in, well, the movie was made in 1968, and it takes place in 1999. And the 1968 vision of 1999 was phone calls to the moon.
Underhanded means. And therefore, this return to set.
What's the difference between upper-handed means and underhanded means, Tony?
Upperhand means you have the advantage. Clean cut. Underhand means you cheat. So there's your education for tonight.
In other words, you're saying Lord Steven.
I love the story of Johnny B. Bad being signed to the WWF, and Vince is like, oh, God, I got Johnny B. Bad. Isn't that great? It's like, Vince, you don't own the character Johnny B. Bad. You just got the guy playing him. And all he is the gimmick. He can't take the gimmick with him.
He got up 2 count quickly. And a tremendous move. Hit top 1, 2.
No.
Almost got a 3 again.
And Johnny B. Bad stuck.
Were you 15 in 1968? No, I was not even born.
Johnny B. Bad is prepared for this match. And Lord Steven Regal, quite frankly, doesn't know what hit him.
I thought Lady Di was the only one that cheated.
I have no comment on that statement.
I was born in 85, so, you know. I'm as old as WrestleMania, almost. They could have called him Johnny B. Bad with only one D. Would have been an interesting way, but I remember, like, the Big Boss Man, they brought him to WCW, and they just called him the Boss, and apparently that wasn't good enough. So he had to become the Guardian Angel and Big Bubba Rogers and literally anything else but the Big Boss Man. Oh, look at that. There you go. Look at Johnny.
I'm Lord
Steven. Bad baby.
Would you say Owen Hart is the most tragic wrestler death? I mean, it's a really sad and terrible one, especially since it happened right in the middle of a show. Doesn't get much more tragic than that. Not being able to use gimmicks is so stupid. Well, I mean, I understand it because, you know, intellectual property, people want to make sure they own the stuff that they create. Now, I would, if I were a wrestler and I came up with a character, I would make sure that I owned it. Like, if I came up with it especially, I would make sure it's like, no, that's mine. I take that with me wherever I go. I think Roddy Piper talked about that once, where he was like, I'm Roddy Piper. I own all of that.
Well, I don't know if you're going to see that. Hey, but I tell you, Johnny B. Bad is very flamboyant. You never know how he's going to dress. But you do know that.
What about the small vice president boy? What? Who's the small vice president boy?
I didn't say that. But also, here's a guy, Jesse, who has worked hard developing his.
I've heard that Impact is being more willing to let people use their gimmicks elsewhere. Well, I think in general, indie wrestling, they just let guys go and work wherever they want as long as it's not Vince. Mick Foley owns Cactus Jack and Dude Love, but not Mankind. Interesting. I mean, that Cactus Jack is the one he would want. Was Piper really playing a character? Good question. Probably not.
And the quickness coming through here. And I tell you, Jesse, this has been all Johnny B. Bad in the opening moments of this matchup.
It's still early. It's still early. Bad has to take it to him. This is a TV title match. It's 15 minutes.
Yeah, Bruiser Brody's death. That one was that story's insane. Tell you what, if I were a wrestler, I wouldn't want to work in Puerto Rico if that's the type of shit that goes on. God damn.
This is a relatively short time limit match, Tony. You're not out there like the world title with an hour.
15 minutes is the time limit for this match. Shoulder block.
Oh, B. Bad went flying. Hit the ropes. Nice duck by Regal.
Clotheslined himself on that one, and Lord Stephen now. I can see it. Look at Lord Stephen. The hand behind the back, always prim and proper in there. Ooh, and the big European uppercut. That'll rattle you a second.
Ooh.
Wow, you can hear that one all over. Oh, and a big chop. Man's fighting back.
How Carlos Colon didn't get booed at his Hall of Fame induction is beyond me. I'm willing to bet, like, most of the younger fans don't know the story. I'm willing to bet that that's part of what happened there. Ask Ambrose about his time in having batteries and ice thrown at him in Puerto Rico. That's crazy.
Into an arm bar.
Arm bar.
Big forearm shot.
Is that the victory sign or peace?
Yeah, I think that's the Winston Churchill victory sign.
Or never give up Jimmy B.
Maybe so. Uppercut. The European uppercut once again. The fans trying to get behind Johnny B. Bad here, who is in major trouble now. And Lord Stephen Regal keeps the pressure on. Snap there, Jimbo.
Ooh!
Rides those boots right across the pretty man's face.
What story about Carlos Colon? He basically, the murder of Bruiser Brody basically happened on his watch. Because it happened while working for one of his shows, and he covered it up, apparently. Moss covered three-handled family credenza arm bar.
And that was a close fist. He hit Lord Stephen with a close fist.
People also used to pour cups of piss on them in Puerto Rico. That is disgusting. That's just... Jesus. Some people.
Hit him with a close fist, and he's temporarily knocked out Lord Stephen.
Yeah, Regal is down for the count.
Now he's going to cover it. 1, 2.
Foot on the rope.
Foot on the rope.
Sir William doing his job there.
He was the world television champion, but Sir William saved it. Regal rolls him up. He got the tie.
Oh, Regal stole the victory there. That match was okay. His best match so far, which isn't saying much, but...
A handful of times, Sir William saves him by putting the foot on the ropes.
Well, you know, I hate to be the devil's advocate here. I I hate to be the devil's advocate, but let's watch right here. Look at that. Flagrant closed fist right to the jaw and the ear area. He knocks Lord Steven out, hooks the leg, rolls him up. There's a 1-2. You see Sir William to the rescue. Foot on the rope right there. He gets the break at that point.
And here I thought European and South American soccer fans were the craziest. Ugh. Yeah. The stuff Puerto Rican fans do is why Flair put Colon over for the world title. Yeah, I'd rather put him over than die. They throw bags of piss at the wrestlers in Mexico. Marty the Moth mentioned that when he was down in Triple H. Jesus Christ. What's wrong with these people?
The following contest, it is set for one fall. Introducing first, being led to the ring by Colonel Rob Parker.
There he goes, stunning Steve Austin. Colonel Rob Parker. Not quite stone cold yet.
And his opponent is already in the ring flying right. Here comes Stunning Steve.
Here we go. The Hollywood Blondes explode. Former partners, Flying Brian and Stunning Steve Austin. One of the best tag teams that didn't get a long enough run.
Close your eyes, Jesse. I'll tell you when it's over. Colonel Rob Parker being chased by Flying Brian.
Remember when Lance Storm had 3 titles at once in WCW? What went wrong for him in WWE? He was a WCW guy, and they said, fuck him. If you want my opinion, I think that's what happened.
Colonel Rob Parker, of course, had the interview. Look at that.
The Hollywood Blondes from Texas. Hey, that's the wrestling business for you. One of my favorite lines ever, Al Snow said in an interview once, only in the wrestling business could you have somebody like Rodney Mack do a racist Black Power gimmick, and when he's backstage, he covers himself in tanner to make his skin darker. Was this match after the breakup? Yes. Hollywood 5 intro. The Hollywood Blondes explode. Oh, there you go.
Outside the ring. You know, I really wish you'd shake hands, make up, and reform the Blondes. I'd love that.
Well, Brian's not having any of Austin's shit.
Colonel talked about the restraining order, keeping Sid Vicious away, and guaranteed that Sid Vicious would not even be in the building. Although me and Gene said he may have seen Sid Vicious earlier on.
Oh, pile driver on the entrance ramp. Nope. Back body drop. I mean, Lance Storm in WWE, they put him in a tag team with Regal. They went undefeated. Oh! Bad landing for Brian on that one. Oh, an even worse landing. But anyway, they put him in a tag team with William Regal. They were undefeated for like 2 months. And then they lose their first match to, what was it, Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler? And it's like, fuck. How comes every tag team breakup that leads to a match feud never goes well? It seems like a lot of them fall short. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, you would think that it's a natural story to tell, but for some reason, like, very rarely do the tag team partners fighting each other does that match work. Hollywood Blondes, Steiners, Outsiders, Harlem Heat, the Hardys a couple of times. The first time they tried to break up the Hardys, that one didn't go so well. Oh. More famous wrestling family, the Harts or the Guerreros. Both are pretty famous. Probably the Harts, though.
Kind of a version of it using the jaw and the throat. Colonel Parker as a covers mania. 1, 2. Brian's out at 2. Colonel Parker doing a lot of turning around, looking around at the audience.
Colonel's out there mopping his brow with his white handkerchief.
He's really concerned about possibly the appearance of Sid Vicious here.
Actually, another one tag team split that didn't go as well as it should have. The Rockers. You would think that like their Royal Rumble match would have been like the match of the year, and instead it was just kind of, it was fine. It wasn't the show stealer you would want it to be, though.
Whoa, did Stunning Steve walk into that one?
What'd you think of Eddie Guerrero's Hall of Fame speeches by Ray and Chavo? Pretty good, if I recall. I remember liking Chavo's.
Turns him over into a half Boston crab.
Half crab.
Yes, you know, can you imagine that Steve?
Why didn't they save the Rockers match for WrestleMania 8? Because Marty Jannetty got booted out of the company. He wasn't even in the company by the time WrestleMania 8 rolled around.
Can you imagine if on November 20th on our next pay-per-view on Battleboat, if they would happen to be there?
The Shield nowadays is bland. I don't know. I haven't been watching the show, to be honest.
Reunite the bonds again. Now you see Stunning Steve grabbing the rope, and you know, you talk about former partners. You think that Stunning Steve doesn't know that that's Flying Brian's plan B? He knows it is. That's why he's going after it. That's the problem. If you end up wrestling somebody that knows you that well.
Sasha Banks told a story about her going to a WWE event, I think the day or the day after Eddie died, and he's her favorite. Oh, jeez. That couldn't have felt good. Marty got fired and was under house arrest at Mania 8. Yeah. And then didn't he get fired again after Royal Rumble 2000 or Royal Rumble 93? And so he missed Mania 9 too.
Good to have you with us here on TBS. Here we go to the corner. Brian Hogan.
Oh!
He got the elbow to the head.
There you go. Flying Brian's back in it.
Flying Brian, Stunning Steve followed him in. Flying Brian took a little look over the shoulder, came off the rope, and caught him with the
Eddie versus Rollins. That could have been a good one.
He got a double count going on, and look at the Colonel running his way around the ring. You know, maybe Flying Brian knows that Stunning Steve maybe has a bit of a glass jaw because he seems to be going after the jaw hard.
You may be right.
Oh!
Oh, Austin. Bad landing there up top.
She talked about that Steve knew Brian's weakness of the knee, and Brian certainly knows Steve's weaknesses.
Here comes Flying Brian.
The fans are behind Flying Brian here in this gigantic grudge match.
Well, where Steve got that last one is every guy's weakness.
Yes, you're right. And now, superplex, or is it?
He's trying for it.
Oh!
Great move by Stunning Steve. He used the weight advantage to hook the rope.
Oh! Nice drop kick by Brian.
Touches him with a drop kick when he comes off the top. Excellent move. There's a cover.
1, 2. No, sir. He got out of it. Oh, my.
Sean got Marty fired after Rumble 93. Perfect got Marty rehired. The reason Perfect was at ringside was so that Sean dropped the IC title to Marty on Raw. Also, oh, nice little roll over there by Brian.
1, 2. Whoa. Flying Brian and Stunning Steve in this grudge match. The Battle of the Hollywood Blondes.
Perfect was at ringside when Sean dropped the IC title to Marty. I don't remember that. I should go check that out again.
Put him out to the apron, big shoulder.
Oh, nice power slam counter by Austin.
Nice move by Stunning Steve.
1, 2, no.
And look at the Colonel, he's irate. He's claiming a slow count, and I got to.
What went wrong? WWE CW. They overproduced it. That's what went wrong. And it didn't have any of the charm that made ECW work. Oh! DDT by Brian. 1, 2, no. Favorite type of roll-up pin? I like the Bulldog Brett finish from SummerSlam 92. That's a pretty damn good one. I like that.
Oh, he got caught, though. He couldn't get the momentum and get Stunning Steve over. And Stunning.
What went wrong with WWE ECW? Calling it ECW. I agree. Absolutely.
Get up. Play the fans.
Steve Austin goes up top. Does not pay off.
He rolls him
Roll
out.
up. 1, 2. No.
He didn't get it. He did not get it. He got a 2 count.
Back and forth. Back
The story is hilarious and exemplifies how much of a dick HBK was.
The stun gun. Oh, and he missed it.
What's Brian going to do? Springboard. Oh.
Colonel grabbed the feet of Flying Brian.
1, 2, 3.
Stomach Steve wins it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the
Marty was caught sleeping, and Sean convinced him that he was drunk, and they fired Marty. Jesus.
But the fight's not over.
Uh-oh.
What went wrong? Austin joining WCW and ECW during the invasion. He was the poster boy for the WWF, and it made no sense.
I hope the replay.
It was an early Raw, but Sean did the weakest-looking super kick to Marty that turned him inside out. I'd have to go back and watch it. That match was okay. It was the best match so far, but still not great. Not as good as you would expect it to be, considering it's Flying Brian and Steve Austin, but
When we come back, meet Gino.
Sean was also pissed that Marty sold the wrong shoulder during their Rumble 93 match.
Hi, folks. Gene Okerlund in the Battle Bowl Control Center. And
The
here
Battle
we go.
Bowl Control Center?
The third annual Battle Bowl, the Lethal Lottery. Saturday night, November the 20th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, just about 2 weeks from now, in the Florida Panhandle.
God, nobody could sell me shit quite like Mean Gene Okerlund. God, he can make you want to see the shittiest show. It's like, God, but he makes it sound so awesome. Was HBK always an asshole? In the 90s he was. He was a gigantic asshole back then.
Here's how Battle Bowl works. The names of 40 of the WCW's top superstars are placed in a hopper. The first 32 names are drawn for 16 tag teams in 8 exciting matches. The Battle Bowl, which is actually a 16-man over-the-top rope battle royal, is one of the most exciting events you can see. It unites enemies and yet tears apart friendships. It's the luck of the draw. That's the Lethal Lottery. Standing by with comments right now. Let's hear from the 1991 Battle Bowl champion Sting. And what about this man? Veteran.
HBK may have been an asshole, but he was damn good in the ring. Oh, he absolutely was. I mean, nobody denies that he wasn't great in the ring. It's just like, wow, fuck that guy. Battle Bowl was a shit pay-per-view, arguably the worst pay-per-view WCW had in 93. Who won the 93 Battle Bowl?
All over and done with. He said, I want my partner to keep up his end because I will. And when it's all over, when the smoke is cleared in that ring.
Look up coked out Diva, and you'll see a pic of Sean from the 90s. Vader won the 93 one. Okay.
You get to see World Championship Wrestling at its best because I'm talking about
Hi, Stinger.
Battle Bowl. And when I mean the best, I'm talking about the names like Ron Simmons. I'm talking about the British Bulldog. I'm talking about Sid Vicious. I'm talking about Vader. And the list goes on and on. Rick Rude, he thinks he's ravishing. But when you've got a whole crowd, I'm talking about 20 wrestlers maybe, whatever it is, in one ring at one time, will Ravishing Rick be ravishing? Will Vader be the king of the world? Sid Vicious the Stinger? Who knows?
Remember, these tag team partners in the first round of tag team action must coexist with people that they don't.
97-98 HBK is God tier. Yeah, I mean, he was. Sean was great back then. Nobody denies that. It's just like, God, behind the scenes, it must have been hell working with him.
That's part of this. We'll have more of this coming Wednesday night on the Clash of Champions Live.
What went right? Sting. Pure talent and charisma.
Battle Bowl, the Lethal Lottery.
Mention Sid. Sid won't be at the event. False advertising.
At 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
I mean, I was used to being lied to in advertisements. I'm still waiting for that Bulldog Berserker match that never happened at WrestleMania 8.
The Lethal Lottery.
Next up, we've got Dusty Rhodes versus Paul Orndorff for the the U.S. title. Have you heard the story of HBK and Bret Hart's backstage fight in 97? I have heard that story. It's fucking hilarious.
The following contest, it is for the United States Heavyweight Championship. It is set for one fall. Introducing first the challenger, accompanied by the assassin, He's from Tampa, Florida. He weighs 237 pounds. Mr. Wonderful Orndorff.
Yeah, what happened to Paul Orndorff's
This match has a lot of interest.
Mr. Wonderful theme? That was fucking awesome.
Because of, not only because that it's a U.S. title match.
Let's give Sid the benefit of the doubt. He had a softball game to attend.
And the man who will make their way to the curtain right now, Gary.
The same night, Nash and Piper had a backstage fight in WCW. Oh, jeez. I didn't know they happened on the same day. Oh, there's Dusty coming out with his son. See, after everything that happened at All In last night, I'm getting kind of like emotional seeing Dustin and Dusty together. I don't know if you guys saw that tweet that Dustin sent out. It was a baby picture of Cody with him holding Cody. And he said, go break a leg, brothers, or something like that. And I'm like, aw, the Rhodes are such a, I mean, you want to talk about a great wrestling family, the friggin' Rhodes. Oh, there's Dusty. See, look at Dusty. Look at how he acts. You can't teach that. It's just, he's got it.
Look at this stealth assassin. Never seen him in better shape. His head can barely fit the pass.
Well, the assassin began all of this back at our pay-per-view in May, Slamboree, the Legends reunion. As you hear the chant of Dusty ringing out at the Bayfront Center.
Did HBK and Brett really bury the hatchet on Raw, or was that just TV? You'd have to ask them. I don't know for sure. WWE lost a lot of themes on their network. Yeah, and it sucks.
Solidly behind the American Dream, and of course, his son, the U.S. champion here.
And what a battle this is going to be. And don't forget, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff with quite a history here in the Tampa-St. Pete area. A graduate of the University of Tampa. He's a member of the University of Tampa Hall of Fame. So a lot of roots here in the Tampa-St. Pete area in this matchup. As the chants of Polo Polo start, and you can see Mr. Wonderful reacting to it.
God, Orndorff was still in really good shape back then. Like, he still looked like just as good as he did in '86.
When all the legends were brought back to the Omni in Atlanta in May, there was one man who had a chip on his shoulder the entire time. We're talking about during the autograph session, during the...
How would you react if Bret Hart and HBK came out one day and said Montreal was all a work? I would be like, yeah, there's part of me that always suspected it. Body slam by Dustin.
Another one.
And look how tall Dustin is. He looks like he's like a foot taller than Orndorff. Bret always bashes people in interviews these days, but always puts HBK over in his interviews, so that's how you know it's real. Fair enough.
And he's getting away with that. The referee finally caught him and rolled him back. Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, I watched the Piper, Mean Gene, and Orndorff table for three.
Point his finger over at the assassin.
Well, the assassin warned Dusty's family, and then all of a sudden he was at Orndorff's side during Halloween Havoc in the match against Ricky Steamboat. And it was obvious when the contract was signed for this event right here that the assassin was trying to use Orndorff to possibly hurt the youngster to get at the Rhodes family.
The way nepotism was, are you shocked that Dustin was never world champion in WCW? A little bit, actually, yeah, because it felt like whenever Dusty was the booker, Dustin would get these pushes. Like in TNA, go back and watch in 2005 when Dusty was booking, like Dustin was almost undefeated. And it was like, okay, I see what's going on here.
Up on top of the top wrist lock in.
I mean, how on earth could the assassin sneak around?
Did Sean ever make fun of Saturn for having a lazy eye? He better not. That would be hypocritical.
And Dusty'd have to be blind as a bat not to see him.
In his day, the assassin was probably the most ruthless man the sport has ever known. Here goes the chant of
Let's go back to the center of the ring, and it's Mr. Wonderful.
Is that why we didn't get Black Rain as world champion? Oh my God. Black Rain was not a bad character. There was a good idea in there. It just wasn't executed real well. Also, Dustin was out of shape and coked out of his mind. That didn't help. There was a solid idea there that just didn't get appropriately tapped into.
Got it hooked in a hammerlock.
Call Dustin Black Rain on Twitter and he'll block you. Seriously?
He's breaking him down.
Does he get like pissy about that?
The assassin is screaming to break the arm. See, he doesn't want Orndorff to win here necessarily. The beginning, a submission would be okay, but he wants him to break the arm.
I would embrace it. I'm like, yeah, it was a shitty wrestling
You know
character.
what he wants. If that happens,
Deal with
then
it.
you'll see Big Dusty cry on national television. What a thrill that
So
would
which
be
is
for the
worse,
world.
Black Rain or Seven?
Dusty's gonna cry, to be honest with you.
He will when his kid's involved.
U.S. title on the line, live on TBS. Great to have you with us. Still 2 more title matches to go after this one.
I've never blocked anybody on Twitter. Granted, it's not like my Twitter's lit up and I've got people messaging me all day, but I've never blocked anybody on Twitter.
Orndorff still working that arm.
Even if you were like a total shithead to me, I'd be like, all right.
Back wrestling with Dustin Rhodes.
I'd be like, all right, I'll just let you be a shithead. Says more about you than it does about me.
Both men back up now.
And a nice reversal.
Oh, look at Dustin.
Blocked by Dustin Rhodes. Very nice move.
Orndorff trying to hold him off, as you can see, but no, Dustin took it down. And goes.
Oh, nice leg drop on the arm there.
Yanking on the arm, the natural.
And a big right hand by Dustin Rhodes. Wonderful trying to wrestle. Rhodes trying to turn it into a bit of a brawl, I think. But now back to wrestling.
Ooh. Seven, because Seven was a pedo. At least everyone thinks it was because of the vignette with him staring into the kids' room.
On the shoulder.
Just don't cross the line. Oh, God. Remember when that was TNA's like tagline, catchphrase?
Dustin's got a definite leverage advantage with his height. He's probably 4 inches taller. Mr. Wonderful.
The chant of Paula, which certainly has affected Paul Orndorff mentally, but the assassin has calmed him down the last couple of weeks, telling him to shut it out. Forget about the fans. Orndorff. And hey, let's not forget, Jesse, it was Dustin who started this Paula chant before anyone.
Yeah, him and you.
No, it was Dustin.
I thought TNA's motto was "We will never die." They've lived up to that, man. I never would have dreamed after some of the shit that they dealt with and inflicted on themselves. I never thought they would make it past like 2012, but shit, they're still here.
Has a chance to end those chants of Paula and walk out of here the U.S. heavyweight.
TNA, the new face of professional wrestling.
Into the ribs, right to the sternum.
I just tweeted Goldust if Black Rain can make a comeback. I really hope I get blocked.
And that's why this match is happening. In the corner, to the other side.
Oh, knee up by Dustin.
Snap back him over. And
You know,
Dustin for the front face lock.
I'm really surprised right there that Dustin.
I remember you made a video in 2014 saying, I can't imagine this company surviving into 2015. Here we are, 4 years later, they're still here.
Apparently he didn't think he was ready to beat him with it yet.
Russo, Heyman, and Cornette should book Raw weekly. Who gets killed first? Like, who's the first? Okay, who's the first one to get murdered and who's the murderer? I'm thinking Cornette on Russo. That's my guess.
That Dustin may not be ready to end the match right now. He may want to beat him up some more.
I know one thing, that old bad Grandma Rhodes is watching from Houston right now.
What did you say?
You heard me.
One of the nicest ladies I've ever met. And I know Dusty's mom is watching it too.
Get on that long, you gotta be on top. Come on, baby. You gotta be on top.
I still want Cornette and Russo watching Urban Wrestling Federation together. TNA, the Twinkie of pro wrestling. That is a great description.
Mr. Wonderful, putting the pressure on that arm bar.
Arm bar.
All the fluff the assassin has thrown at this match and at the Rhodes family. It's been a great wrestling match in the ring. Yes, it stayed in the ring.
Russo looks like a typical movie villain. He kind of does. He's got a very Hans Gruber look to him.
Well, Dustin couldn't come out of it with a boot, so he tried to punch his way out of it and succeeded. But I don't know if he wants to.
Jim Cornette is the type to kill Russo by jamming the tailpipe of his car with a potato in hopes that it blows up with him. Oh, Jesus. I thought TNA were the roaches of wrestling. Also adequate. I would have loved to have seen the Killer Elite Squad versus the Hart Foundation. That would have been neat. Russo versus Cornette in a barbed wire death match at All In 2. Total shoot. No, I don't want them to die either. To me, it would have been one of the great tragedies if we did lose TNA. It's like, oh, shit. They're like, I don't want them to die, but they just keep shooting themselves in the foot. What are they doing?
And Dustin driving the elbows in, breaks the hold. He blocks the hip toss.
And backslide. 1, 2.
No, sir. Orndorff got away. And Orndorff goes down.
And another
1,
cover.
2. No.
He got away again.
Russo versus Cornette in a scaffold match over barbed wire. Oh, Jesus. No, I got an idea, bro. Scaffold match over barbed wire. Get this. We set the barbed wire on fire. It'll be killer, bro. I'm telling you. Well, goddamn, Vince, at that point, why don't we just set the fucking scaffold on fire, then we can both die, you dumb motherfucker. God, fuck. Supposed to business with your goddamn bullshit. Funny don't draw money, you dumb shit. On a pole, bro. Yeah, put the barbed wire on a pole, bro. No, you put the scaffolding on top of a pole, bro. That's what you do. I had a killer idea for WCW that would have generated ratings. I'm talking huge WWF in their prime while I was booking level ratings, bro. I would have had Lenny Lane perform sodomy on Hulk Hogan. But Hulk Hogan pulled his creative control card and would not allow Lenny Lane to perform sodomy on it. I've watched a lot of Russo shoots. Bulldog? But couldn't get the Bulldog. Now I want to see Russo and Cornette in an Inferno barbed wire scaffold match. On a pole. You got to throw on a pole at the end of that. Sunset flip. No. What's Russo's excuse for being fired from TNA? I don't know what his excuse is. Pile driver time. You wrap the scaffold around a pole? Yeah, exactly.
Here it is.
Oh, he can't get him up.
Reverses the pile driver. Love the impression. Thank you. I didn't know I could do a good Russo. It kind of like took on a life of its own. Off the top. Oh, he misses with the knee drop.
Drove the knee into the canvas.
Dustin with a small package. 1, 2, 3. He got him. Okay, that match was solid. That was the best match so far. It wasn't great, but it was okay. And Orndorff is pissed. What went wrong? The knockouts post Scott D'Amore. I don't know. Like, I'd have to. There's Dusty. Get that fat mask turd. Oh, God, look at that pop for Dusty. Oh, and Orndorff hits Dusty. Aw. To think the company with Russo and Dixie still exists and it's getting its shit together. Yeah. I mean, it's still not, like, the weekly show isn't great, but it's better than it was.
I'll tell you what, the Rhodes family.
Do a Vince McMahon. Do a Vince McMahon. I need to be inspired.
The assassin wants Orndorff.
Dusty, Dustin, and Cody versus Perfect, Larry the Axe, and Curtis.
Here I come.
Up there's saves his daddy.
This one was wild. Dustin is there with his father, who's down. He is still the U.S. Heavyweight Champion. And what a match we've just seen on the Clash of the Champions.
If Funny doesn't draw money, how is Spaceballs so great? You'd have to ask Jim Cornette. There's difference between movie funny and fucking wrestling funny, okay? And I don't need the gaga and the bullshit in my pro wrestling. I want my pro wrestling to be believable. I want people to think that it's an actual athletic competition, okay? Motherfucker. Goddamn.
Clash of Champions here on TBS. I don't mind telling you, an absolutely fantastic evening of World Championship Wrestling.
I mean, Jane.
I have been huddling back in the locker room area. Hopefully, before we go off the air tonight, I'll have some news.
What does Jim Cornette like in pro wrestling? Apparently, he likes the Revival. He's a big fan of them, which I don't know how you couldn't be, but...
The hotline is up and running right now, where you fans at home can vote for the Manager of the Year. Call right now on option 5 at 1-900-909-9900. Vote for Sir William, Missy Hyatt, oh my, and also Harley Race and Teddy Long. Vote right now on option 4 on the WCW hotline. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, at Starrcade on Monday night, December the 27th, we will announce the tabulations for you for the Manager of the Year for 1993.
We gotta wait that long?
Very exciting.
And why are we doing, like, Manager of the Year? Is that the only award you're doing?
A Clash of the Champion.
Oh, here comes the stinger.
The following contest, it is for the World Tag Team Championship. It is set for one fall. Introducing
Cornette needs to do what Cody and the Bucks did. Don't like the way wrestling is, do something about it. Instead of bitching, take your vision and do something about it. Yeah, do it yourself, man. But he already tried that with Smoky Mountain and it didn't work. The man called Sting. I hate the Revival. Really? I mean, I loved him in NXT. They haven't done anything since they've been on the main roster, but... All right, Sting and the Bulldog getting a tag title shot against the Nasty Boys.
In this title contest, being led to the ring by the nastiest lady in WCW, Missy Hyatt. They are from the streets of New York City. They are the World Tag Team Champions.
Missy Hyatt sporting kind of a, like a Madonna look almost. Kind of, sort of.
There's Missy Hyatt doing her best impersonation of Madonna, right?
I guess there is it.
John Kristofik, welcome to the stream. How you doing, man? Yeah, 93 Missy, still Roll Tide. I agree with that.
One of the great, if not the greatest of all time, being Gene Okerlund with us as part of our broadcast team. His first Clash of the Champions. He'll be with us in Battle Bowl. I mean, he just said,
Well, wait a minute. I am the greatest of all time. How come you never talk that way about me?
well, I do when you're
He's one of the greatest. I am the greatest.
well, I do when you're not here. You know, I never really think about it.
93 Missy or 2018 Brandy? I would take 2018 Brandy on that one. Less chance of an STD. Oh, match has started. Fast and Furious.
We had a bell. I presume we have. I don't know.
Rick Rude? What is he doing out there? Oh, he's attacking Bulldog. Rude Awakening on the entrance ramp.
Warrior Hawk's a little bit too late to save Davey Boy.
Brandy is great, but I have a thing for Missy. I mean, hey, we all have our types. Sarah Logan, Zelina Vega, or Tessa Blanchard, you're only allowed one. Of that list, I'd probably take Sarah Logan, given my choices.
And look at Missy's got the titles. Missy's declared them the winners already.
Oh, I think Bulldog's hurt, guys. I call Tessa's ass. Fair enough. Francine was hot too. Yeah, she had a like a New York trashy aspect to her that was very hot.
I don't see the referee even counting, so I think all this took place without even the opening bell, Tony.
I think you're right, or there would have been a count out.
Absolutely.
There's your bell.
There's the bell.
Oh, now they're starting the match that one of the baby faces is crippled practically.
5 minutes of wrestling before it even started.
And the Nasty Boys wasted no time.
What did you think of TNA Hardcore Justice in 2010? I thought the show was terrible, to be perfectly honest. And it felt like, oh, we're doing an ECW reunion show. I'm like, we already got that in 2005 and 2006, guys. It's like, why are we doing this? Let it die, okay? Now, a week later, they did the whole effing show on Impact on Spike, and I thought that was one of the best shows they ever did. So why wasn't that the fucking pay-per-view? You know? Just a thought. They did that Motor City Machine Guns Beer Money 2 out of 3 Falls match, which was fucking incredible. We're going to do an ECW reunion show, but we can't mention ECW. Exactly. And most of the matches were really bad, if I recall. The only match I remember being any good was the main event, Rob Van Dam and Sabu. I remember being okay. What happened in Hardcore Justice? Just a bunch of old ECW guys having shitty matches. That's all. And the lighting was shit, too. Luna was hot. Oh, okay. Hey, everybody's got a type, man.
He's a useless partner tonight.
Well, it is 1-on-2 right here. And what a way for a world champion to act when someone makes a legitimate title challenge.
Maybe he insulted him. How do you know? He might have called Rude a name.
Well, he may have.
You don't know that.
That's right.
Don't you insinuate what went on in the locker room. You've been out with you and me the whole night.
Boy, have I ever.
And quit looking over at Missy. Call the match.
I was looking over the corner of the Nasty Boys and Sting, legs and elbow.
The whole effing show was supposed to be Hardcore Justice until they changed it to do an ECW reunion show. Good call there. I love blondes and Australian chicks, so Toni Storm is my ideal woman. Fair enough. Toni Storm is pretty hot. Medusa and her enhancements. I never thought Medusa was that hot. I mean, I liked her as a talent, but she never tickled my fancy the way some others did. Now, Kimberly Page. Goddamn. I'll take her over. Like, everybody says Sunny was the hottest, or Miss Elizabeth, or Terry Runnels, or Sable, and all these other ones. I would take Kimberly Page in her prime over all of them. I'm not even kidding.
And worry about negotiations with Ruth tomorrow. Am I right? Of course I'm right.
Well, how do we know what happened? Maybe it was just a casual mention that, hey.
Oh, God, yeah. Kimberly Page.
I don't think Rude would do that to somebody who just
I was all about the Diamond Doll, man. She was something. That's the clothesline. Here comes Sting. Body slam on Sags. Sting going up top. Oh, Knobs pushed him off. So were you jealous of, was it Tickled My Fancy, Patrick 2018? That's the quote of the night. So you were jealous of DDP back in the day? Hell yeah, I was. You have to fight DDP, though. Yeah, fair enough. What would you rate 2000 Stephanie and now Stephanie out of 10? Stephanie was weird. There were cases where she looked absolutely gorgeous, and then other cases like where she looked like she got beat upside the head with the ugly stick. And it would change week to week. She was never like consistently hot. Like it was always like one week she would be hot, and then other weeks I'd be like, you know. So it's really hard for me to say. You have to go through Ray Rowe to get to Sarah Logan, right? Right? If I won, though, it'd be totally worth it. Steph also has Vince's voice. Yes, also a problem. And kind of Vince's jawline, too, a little bit. Suplex, Sting's back in the ring. God, Davey Boy hasn't moved. Oh, he's up. Bear hug on Sting. ICP called Stephanie Vince with titties. I mean, not wrong. Sarah Logan looks like a man. Well, then I must be gay because she's a very nice-looking man. Is Miss Elizabeth the reason you love dark-haired women? She's one of them. I was also into Jennifer Connelly when I was young. I saw The Rocketeer when I was 8, and that just Jennifer Connelly in that film. Overhead belly-to-belly by Sting. Look at that. I love ICP. I never saw their appeal. I didn't get it. I was never a juggalo. I don't understand it. But yeah, Jennifer Connelly, Miss Elizabeth, and Kelly Kapowski from Saved by the Bell. I was just, oh God. Dark-haired women, man. I've never seen that movie. Is it good? The Rocketeer, I like it. Part of it is because I grew up with it. Now they're choking out Sting with Missy Hyatt's jacket. Original Pink Ranger was another one. Yes. Amy Jo Johnson. I was all about her, too.
Now you heard him. Nick Benton says, get on the floor and stay there.
I wonder what he really liked to say.
You know, funny thing, I was a 90s kid. I never watched Beverly Hills 90210. Never watched it.
Still in trouble.
I mean, I'm sure she was hot in that show, Tiffany Amber Thiessen. I don't doubt that at all. I have a soft spot for Asian chicks because of the original Yellow Ranger. Fair. I like bald women. So Nebula, you're all about Nebula, right? Or Molly Holly when she had her head shaved. Do you think Blonde Sting could have been as big as Hogan in the same spot? Who knows? I mean, I couldn't tell you. Bulldog's back in there. Power slam. Power slam. Drop kick. Look at him go. It's like he was never hurt. Tiffany Amber Thiessen as Valerie was much hotter than Tiffany Amber as Kelly. I'd have to go back and watch 90210 to decide on that. I have a soft spot for Gail Kim and Kyrie Sane. Gail Kim is super hot, yeah. Even now, she's like in her 40s. I'm like, she's still hot. Double DDT by the Bulldog. Jesus. Better in-ring wrestler, 80s Hogan or 80s Sting? I'd probably be more inclined to say Sting. They both had their pluses and their negatives, but I'd be more inclined to say Sting. Power slam by Bulldog. Referee distracted. Oh, ooh, nasty elbow drop. 1, 2, 3. The Nasty Boys win it. Missy Hyatt's cleavage is very happy. I can see it bouncing from here. Winnie Cooper. I had a huge crush on Winnie Cooper, too. Topanga will always have my heart. No other woman shall ever come. I didn't watch Boy Meets World that much. I watched it once in a while, but it was never like in my regular rotation. Topanga was hot, though. I'm not denying that. Would you agree that Sting was never a great wrestler, but his charisma and personality made up for it? No, I thought he was a very good wrestler. I saw him just watching these Clash of Champions. I think he's had a lot of really good matches. The match he just had was the best match on the show, and he worked most of the match. What colors would you have chosen for Hulkamania? I don't know. I can't picture Hulkamania as anything other than red and yellow, so I can't even say what my inclination would have been. Oh, Colonel Parker saying that Austin's going to challenge the winner of the world title match. Flair's like, don't bother me. Oh, he just hit Colonel Parker.
Well, what in the world was Colonel Parker doing anyway? As Flair gets ready to go, we are ready to go. Let's go to Michael.
Woo! Black and brown. Blue and white, like Rip. Ventura in a Led Zeppelin shirt. Priceless. Here he is. The Nature Boy. He's going to walk that out. Fifi. Best WCW only managers. I was going to say Theodore Long, but no, he did have a run in WWE as a manager. I was going to say Colonel Parker, but he had a run in WWE as Tennessee Lee. Didn't last long, but... See, I can't think of it. I guess Harley Race would be my answer. By default. Here comes the man. Vader! Who the man?
Y'all know what time it is. Justy, my boy. It's Vader time.
Vader time. God, Vader in 93, he had the strap match with Sting. He had the feud with Foley, where they had that violent-ass match at Halloween Havoc. Had a Starrcade main event against Ric Flair. I mean, that's a pretty damn good year. Bunch of star-studded big main event matches there. And he was world champion most of the year. How long of the stream is left? Well, this is the main event of Clash of the Champions, so we've got less than 15 to go, according to the network. Michael Buffer makes everything better. Mademoiselle Fifi.
One of the old-time legends of professional wrestling, a master of the figure four leg lock. Ladies and gentlemen, the 10-time world champion and tonight's challenger, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
Woo! Oh God, Flair! Like you can see some of the signs of Flair aging at this point. He's kind of got the dad body thing going.
From the Rocky Mountains, weighing 452.5 pounds, a world champion who won all over the world. He's the master of the power bomb and is considered by many to be the greatest big man in the history of world wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen,
what went wrong? Flair Hogan series. Honestly, I think what went wrong there is that Hogan and Flair are so stuck in their ways and work their own formulas that when you kind of put them together, they couldn't change it up well enough. I think it was just two guys trying to enforce their formula on each other, and it didn't work. Ultimate question, Patrick. Jive Soul Bro or Demolition Theme? Which was better? The Demolition Theme. That's my answer. I'm more of a hard... Figure 4 on Harley Race. Brings back memories to 83, right? Vader with a splash. Do you feel sorry for Chris Benoit's son since he'll never make it to WWE because of his dad? Is his son a wrestler? I didn't know his son was a wrestler. If I were his son, I would get the fuck out of the wrestling business as soon as possible. Vader beating the shit out of Ric Flair. Okay, on second inspection, Flair doesn't look quite as bad as I was saying. Still looks a little older, but not quite as bad as he would in like the mid 2000s. Oh, gorilla press on Flair. Where's he going? On the mat. Did you like Harley Race's Hall of Fame speech? I remember liking it. I don't remember specific things about it, though. Ric Flair said that Harley Race could have suplexed Andre the Giant if he wanted to. Vader bomb! Wow, that was fast. To think Vader was 38 at his peak. Jeez. Is he going to squash Flair?
Early on we are. Flair had to contend with Sergeant Colonel Rob Parker.
Now you're going to use Colonel Parker's excuse? What, he had to do a warm-up punch on him and he punched himself out?
I'm not making excuses, but Colonel Rob Parker, I was just referring to what happened.
Oh, there's some chops.
Flair's firing back with some chops.
Vader went down.
Look at Flair. Energy from who knows where. Stomping Vader down.
Woo!
Now Flair gets ahead of steam.
Oh, God. Vader just steamrolled him.
Boy, did he ever. The big man lays Flair out. Ray saying, get him down.
That was the weirdest looking elbow drop I've ever seen.
Elbow right on the leg.
Was he going for the leg, the dick, the midsection? I couldn't tell. Would you jump 30 feet off a cell into padding just for the experience? No, I would not. Because just because there's padding down there is no guarantee I'm going to hit the padding. And I don't trust my coordination. What went right? HBK versus Flair at Mania 24. Great performance by Shawn and a booked situation that would evoke an emotional response. Flair yells a lot in his matches. Well, it's better than being a loud-ass spot caller. John Cena, looking at you. Cena might be the worst spot caller I've ever heard in the history of the business. Where it's like, dude, it's like he doesn't even try to hide that he's calling spots. Oh, Vader missed. What's up with the rope colors? That's a weird selection. It's blue, black, and yellow. Flair coming off the top. Randy Savage style.
Boy, this is as hard hitting the match that you'll ever want to see for the WCW World Title.
Big chop by the Nature Boy, another one.
Flair trying to become an 11th-time world champion. Unprecedented in this sport.
What stopped Vader from killing Shawn after he spit on him? Probably the fear of losing his job. They're doing Orton and Hardy at Hell in a Cell just so Hardy can do a swanton off the cell. Please don't do that. Jesus Christ, please don't. What is the least protected finisher in WWE today? I couldn't tell you because I don't watch WWE week to week. The zigzag, probably.
Well, one big foot, that's all it takes.
And we ain't talking about pizza either.
Now, I tell you, the mass of Vader, he is just so much bigger than anyone that he can stick out a foot or just stand still and hurt you. If you run a
DDT, since it's not even a finisher anymore, right? Yeah. Skull crushing finale. I remember Miz used to beat a lot of people with that. Vader's coming off the second rope. And he missed.
move by the Nature Boy. And Vader hit that one, it would have been over, Tony. He's going for the
Figure four on Vader. He got it.
Yes. This could be it. Will it be 11, Tony?
What did you think of Mrs. Money in the Bank cash-in? I thought that he was booked poorly before the cash-in. He was one of those cases where they had him lose a lot. But it's like, oh, we'll surprise him. We'll shock him by making him look like shit so they won't think he'll win the title, but then he will. Which they did that quite a few times. But the cash-in itself I thought was cool, and I like the reaction shot of the one girl in the crowd. I mean, that was just classic. What will Patrick be doing in 5 years' time? Hopefully Sarah Logan. What? What? Nothing? Is that going to get me too'd? Is that joke going to get me in trouble? I hope not. Oh yeah, they did that with the Money in the Bank thing. They did that with a lot of guys.
You hear the anger and the frustration of Vader.
Vader needs to follow up.
You have to kill Rowe first. Yeah, if I got into a fight with Ray Rowe, I would pick myself. That was a shitty power slam. I think that was supposed to be Flair countering into a power slam, but he didn't quite. Like, I think Vader overshot him. Coming off the top, Flair hit a top rope move. That's 2 in 1 match. Shit.
Keep Vader down for a 3 count. I don't think so.
And Flair hit the camera on his like flip over on the turnbuckle. 3 top rope moves in 1 match. No wonder he never hit another one. He used them all up in this one.
Sensing that maybe it's his moment.
Oh, down goes the ref. Flair going up top again. Jesus Christ, he's flying. Vader caught him that time. Yeah, he pushed his luck.
He caught Ric Flair. You see the referee still down. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Softening him up.
What the hell is Vader going to do here?
Going to the top for what? A superplex? What is Vader doing?
Superplex. Yep.
Oh, my.
Superplex on Rick. Oh! Ho, ho, ho.
Incredible! Incredible! Both men are down for the blow of that superplex from the top.
Vader's getting up first, though. Flair's got no way to go. He's out in the middle of the ring. They need to wake up that referee because this one's over if Vader tops him.
No wonder he didn't hit another one until WrestleMania 24, right? Yeah. If you were in charge of WWE, what would be the first 5 things you would change? Only have one world champion. Find ways to give each brand their own identity. Raw and SmackDown. I think I've said my idea. Put all the tag teams on one show. Put all the women on one show. Put all the cruiserweights on one show. Let the brands have their own identity. Is Vader going to do a moonsault? He moonsaulting? I don't think he would have hit Flair anyway. Flair moved out of the way, but I don't think Vader would have hit him anyway. 1, 2, 3. Flair just won? What? That's crazy. Would you throw away the Universal title? Probably. Wait, what's going on? Wait, why was Vader disqualified? Why was Vader disqualified? Oh, here comes Austin and Colonel Parker. Wait.
It's from when Vader struck the referee. The referee got up, and I believe ruled for the.
Well, then why the hell did he count the pin? See, fucking stupid. Stupid. This ending was stupid. And here comes the cavalry, Dusty Rhodes and the Shockmaster.
Finally, the ring is
Shockmaster will save the day. Dusty finish. Yeah, that finish has so much dust on it, it's practically a desert.
We got Mean Gene Okerlund stepping into the ring. Maybe he gets a chance to get a word with somebody up there.
Okay.
Whoop, there it is. That's how you know this took place in the 90s. Whoop, there it is.
All right, apparently things are still up in the air here on the Clash of Champions. Ric Flair, Rick Flair. I don't know what the bottom.
I'm back in the ball game now. I'm back, and you got me.
Dusty Desert, that's a level in the Sonic game. I don't doubt it.
And my partner will be in the building Saturday. He's 6'9", 320 pounds. Sid Vicious. Saturday, you got the guts. You got the guts. On it. Let's go. Hey, over here. This Saturday. Hey, look over here. You tell him. We'll take to the charge. You tell him up here. We'll take him charge. Sid Vicious on everybody else. Saturday night is a final marathon fight. And we'll be there when it comes right.
Did you miss the WWE title from 2013? What do you mean? Did I miss the what, the belt? The spinner belt? Did I miss that? No, I didn't. Which was the better show today? This Clash was kind of a misfire. It was yeah, too many dull matches, and that ending to the main event was really kind of lame. So I would say Saturday night's main event, largely on the strength of the Hart Foundation Rockers match and the Hogan Perfect match. That show had some downer moments too, but at least had two really solid matches on it. This one was just kind of like, the whole way through. So I'd say Saturday night's main event was a better show tonight. The belt just had a scratch logo on it. Yeah, I mean, it's still better than the spinner belt. The spinner belt was garbage.
Had a good time, didn't you?
What a night here in St. Petersburg, Tony.
Don't forget to join us at 6:05 Eastern Time, Saturday night. Flair and Vicious against Vader and Stunning Steve. For all of us at WCW, good night, everybody.
All righty. Got Battle Bowl coming up November 20th. Who wants to watch Battle Bowl? All right, so that concludes our viewings of Saturday night's main event and the Clash of Champions. Like I said, Clash of the Champions, not too great this week. Saturday night's main event, a couple of solid matches on it that made it enjoyable. But, yeah, with the conclusion of this stream, we are now in the home stretch to finish up the Clash of the Champions and Saturday night's main event. We've only got 10 more episodes of each to go, so we're getting close to the end. So, yeah, it's going to be so sad when this is over, you know. Man, I can't believe we're already close to the end with these things. It's kind of crazy if you think about it. But, yeah, thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for taking time out of your Labor Day weekend to join me on the stream and have some fun with me and talk and ask questions and just relive the good old days with early 90s WWF and WCW. So, yeah, I'm continuing to really enjoy these streams. I can't wait for next week's because we're going to be starting 1994 for WCW, which will start to see some very interesting personalities show up in WCW starting next week. Well, we already had Mean Gene Okerlund this week, but we'll be getting some more as WCW goes into 1994. And Saturday night's main event next week is going to be a very, very cool one, I think. I'm really excited about next week. So should be fun. Should be fun. What will you do after the Clashes and Saturday night's main events are over? I'm toying around with a few ideas. I'll keep you guys posted, but I've got some ideas, especially heading into 2018. But that is all I have for you tonight. So thank you all for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Labor Day weekend. If you have the day off tomorrow, enjoy that. But I am done here. Y'all enjoy the rest of your night. Have a fun day off tomorrow. Eat plenty of barbecued foods or whatever you're eating. I'm having a crab feast tomorrow, so I'm really looking forward to that. It doesn't get any more Maryland-y than fucking crab feast, but I'm tapping out for the night. Thanks again to everybody. Y'all have a good one, and I'll see you all later this week.